Everything just crashed. Give me a second. All right.
Who else is coming to Tassie FightCon with you besides Yusuf?
Oh,
I'm coming.
You going, Dee-on?
Holy shit, you are?
You going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go support it because Yusuf told me.
Yeah, sweet. Come.
Who else is going? I actually don't know anyone. So.
Well, I know there's heaps of Melbourne boys going, right? Abdul's going.
Oh shit! I'm in trouble.
You still have to money match him in Soul Calibur. Remember that?
Yeah, I kind of do. No, I'll still do it.
Yeah, you should. I don't know anyone else from Sydney who's going though. I think it's just Yusuf.
Yeah, maybe Stefan.
Stefan might be. Yeah, he went last time, I think, right? He went to either FightCon or something else.
Man, that Punjabi music stuck in my head.
Gotta listen to it overnight. It's gonna make you stronger.
Pretty good. Yeah, I better find out what that's called.
Alright, just bear with me. I have to set up YouTube. I'm restreaming the.
Oh, you're doing a dual stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a dual stream?
He streams on Twitch and on.
I'll promote you guys. What's my?
Interesting to see who comes second. Yeah, second's Dee-on, Yusuf. First gonna be you.
Nah, first gonna be Abdul. What are you talking about? I've got my Melbourne boy back.
Oh, they're having a first to 5, you know.
Who? Me and Abdul.
I think Yusuf and Abdul.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yusuf, if you hear me, I got Abdul.
Oh! Oh shit! Okay.
Just to motivate Yusuf to win.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna post this. Have you posted this in Discord, Abby? I'll do that.
Fuck.
What's up? What's are there any issues? Is it the dual stream?
No, it's just it wants me to select a thumbnail. I haven't had one ready. That's fine.
Well, another Pakistani just added me on Facebook. His name is Uzala Khalad. Let's have a look at he plays.
You know, yeah, I've been
He's
watching heaps of them. Shout out to Dread Tech.
This guy's one of these Tonchirappa guys. All right.
Oh, they got
his friend, dude. Our common friends are Aslam Ash, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad, and another Muhammad. There's a lot of Muhammads there.
They're probably all better than everyone in Australia.
You know Meat's. You know what Meat's real name is?
No.
Adrian.
What?
Adrian.
Meat? That's not.
Yeah, his anglicized name is Adrian, but his real name is Muhammad.
Exactly, he's a Muhammad too.
There's a lot of Muhammads, man. Okay.
It was announced yesterday, Stefan.
Yeah, man. This like one morning, right? I kid you not. It was like 4 a.m. in the morning. My phone starts ringing, and then I literally just picked it up and I saw it. Like there's this Pakistani guy on the other side of the line trying to FaceTime me, and I got to accept and it can say you. Are you fucking serious, man? Like, I don't know who you are. I don't even think he was on my friend request. I didn't even know that they could do that. But, like, he's clearly a Pakistani. And he's like, and I looked at the history. It goes, hi. It's just like constant hi. It's like after every 3 days. And I've obviously ignored him. But, man, like, fuck, they wanted, like, a selfie or something, you know?
Yeah, man, you're famous. Most famous Australian player in Pakistan.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're all set up. I'm assuming we're good sound-wise. Chat, give me confirmation, please.
Alright.
Shake that. Yeah.
Sound is good. All right. Cheers. Thank you. All right. Let's officially get started. Welcome everyone to round 2. And when I say round 2, we just did a Beastcast yesterday. So episode 23. I'm your host, the Beast, Abby. What's good? On today's episode, I have my co-host as usual for everything Tekken. What's good, Alchemist?
Not much. How's everyone doing?
Good, thanks. How are you doing? Thanks for being on as usual. Along with Alchemist, we got Reck. What's good?
Hey man, I'm doing well.
And Dee-on Grey, internationally known worldwide traveler.
Hey guys, how you going?
What's good? Thanks all for being on. Very much appreciated. Looking very much to hashing out this podcast. For those that don't know, it wasn't put together last minute, but just after yesterday, we are doing an EVO recap of everything Tekken related, and some of the events that transpired in Melbourne, something a little closer to home, in case you don't know and you're not in our shores. Reck, a player from Sydney. If you don't know him, you know him now. He came down to Melbourne just to get some games in, but we'll explain the lore behind that. So, yeah, no need to introduce these guys as they're all returning guests. Let's get straight into it. We'll start with EVO. What an EVO that was.
That was a great EVO. Look, it had ups and downs. There was some really good things about it and some just not.
Look, as usual, like the organization side of EVO leading up to it, it's never good. Even like people were worried straight off the bat, like, registration, it was free again. Are you going to get 100 trolls that have to be DQ'd again and just fuck up the tournament on the TO side of things? I think the game list, like, I know we're going to mainly talk on Tekken, but we can touch on the fact that, there was no Dragon Balls. So
Yeah, that really sucks, actually.
I had a question the other day. Is that new game Jump Force an official fighting game or not?
No.
It's more like a Naruto game, right? It's kind of like... Yeah, I don't know what the genre is.
I forget the genre. I should know because I played that series. I don't know if you played...
Battle Arena?
That's what it is. That's what it is.
So it's not an FGC. It's not going to be an EVO. It's not going to be in any tournament.
I might have tournaments, but it won't be FGC.
Yeah, it'll have tournaments like obscure fighting games, and I say obscure fighting games like that. They have tournament scenes, like Def Jam's got a fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Okay. All right, yeah.
it'll have tournaments. It's just not official FGC. Open Arena, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, the good parts of EVO Japan were in fact when the actual tournament got running, the matches were great.
Man, I think we missed some of the best matches as well, but even the ones we saw, they were good.
I trying to say, truth be told, and I you guys chime in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. But I think top 8 was run really, really well. It was really fluid. The matches were really good. The commentary was, it's as expected. It's pretty good. We got Markman and Rip. You got, the matches coming there's no big delay. Obviously, they have to have a break. They don't want anyone playing 2 matches in a row. Mm-hmm. The only thing I felt that was missing was some sort of crowd cam. I felt like there was no crowd watching the top 8.
It wasn't.
Like that's the only thing that I didn't get from the top 8. Everything else seemed really well done, to be honest. You guys chime in. What do you think?
Well, I know that because Abby and I were watching it at Abby's place, and some of the breaks were just we just sat there we want this to start.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It wasn't. It wasn't exclusive to just top 8. It was the same with pools the previous day. So I don't know. Production value could be upped, but
yeah, but it was pretty good. It was solid.
I mean, it's. I don't want to make excuses for them. It's their second year, but it's the same people behind EVO America, I'm assuming. So
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. But look, at the end of the day, as a viewer, I'm mainly concerned with the matches, and they lived up. They lived up to the hype.
Oh, that was a
Li-
hype topic.
a little bit disappointed at the selection of stream matches, but you know, what can you do?
In pools, yeah. Look, I don't know what the excuse is. I honestly don't. But some of the most hype matches that like happened were off stream. Like, thank God Chris was there and did the JDCR versus Knee match. That was an insane match.
Yeah,
That was such a good. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was probably on. Is it on the Australian Facebook?
yeah,
Group?
yeah. And Naveed NY later uploaded it to Twitter via his
Yeah.
YouTube. So Chris got a great position for it. So
He was like, yeah, he was right
he was
there.
right
and
behind.
That was
good
good.
camera work, by the way.
I've seen a few other pictures from people who were around, so I assume people either took it, but yeah, he was in prime position for that.
Yeah, and that match was like really good. That was a really good match.
that
I
was-
actually kind of want to rewatch it.
That was insane. It's just like I've said it during the weekend while we were watching a tournament of that caliber. When there's that many heavy hitters, it deserves two streams for the same tournament. I know
100%.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's just adding extra cost, but it's just there are too many good matches.
It's Evo, man. Like,
Mm.
some of this stuff has to be recorded. I cannot believe that Knee versus Arslan, there's nothing of it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. This is their rematch. Everyone was also talking about it because, last time they played, Arslan won like six
6-0.
games. Yeah, it was
6
6-0.
rounds straight. 6 rounds straight.
Yeah. Like, so of course everyone's gonna want to see that. And then after he beats Knee, he plays Chanel, and that is still not recorded.
Mm-hmm.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Mm.
I can't understand that. Like, I didn't know. I wouldn't know. I don't even know what match they had on the stream at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it couldn't have been better than that. There's no way.
Probably an Akuma mirror.
Oh god.
Now it's just a shame because like you figure even just the regular people around have enough knowledge of Tekken in general just to know like who these people are, the stakes that are on hand, these players. Like if you're just a casual and you're like, oh, you see Knee, and
Like, even casual Tekken players kind of know who Knee is, right?
mm-hmm,
Like, they've heard about this guy, and then so him losing is a big deal.
mm-hmm.
And I actually don't know who he got knocked out by. Oh, it was
Look,
JDCR, yeah.
depending on how much Pakistani Tekken knowledge you have, I can kind of make the excuse for not putting Arslan on stream, but Knee versus JDCR, I have no.
Yeah, there's absolutely no excuse for
That
that.
makes no sense. No sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, it happened, and it is what it is. But yeah,
Also, Handsome Man in the chat said he wanted to see Kazuya, aka Boa Love, versus Arslan. So, for those who don't know, Boa Love actually streams. So, and he speaks pretty good English. And I watch his stream. So yesterday he did a stream explaining what happened, and I'll run through what happened, what he said in his experience.
All right.
He confirmed that no one recorded it because most of the people that were going to try and record it were playing their matches, and there were like referees blocking everyone from coming in. And he confirmed absolutely no one recorded it. So this is what happened. The first game, Arslan picked Geese, and obviously Boa Love picked Kazuya. The first game, the first time first time Arslan did the mid power crush, which is -14. Boa Love launched it with electric. Yeah, Boa Love launched it with electric. And he said after that he felt like he felt good about the match, and he said he won that one clean. Then Arslan switched to Kazumi. I don't know what happened in this match, but I know Arslan won. The final score was 2-1. So they go into the final game. And, Boa Love does big brain Kazuya things and just 50-50s into death. He literally said he just kept doing Hell Sweep and changed the timing. And when Arslan started trying to come in and contest with attacks, he hit him with electric. And that just tilted him. Like, you can't do anything about that. Like, you're going to have to guess. You have to guess. Big brain Kazuya.
Yeah, big brain Kazuya. That's, yeah.
Everyone can fall for it. You saw
anyone
Arslan
can lose to
play,
that,
he lost to it. Yeah.
Anyone can lose to that.
Do you know the round counts or?
No, I don't know the round count.
Okay.
Yeah, look, first to two Kazuya is so difficult to play against, especially one that isn't afraid. And if they're like that good, It's terrifying.
Yeah, Boalov's execution is godlike. He plays super fast and he does not give a single fuck. He will just. He doesn't care. If he knows you think he's going to do Hell Sweep, he'll still do Hell Sweep.
So basically, he plays like Aiken with a brain.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know. Anyway, I'm not going there. All I want to say is, versus Kazuya in tournament, anyone can lose to that style. Doesn't matter how good your defense is, how good your fuzzy is. You get hit once, you're pretty much in the vicious cycle of Oki or getting launched by Electric.
Yeah, it's hard. But yeah, well, that's good to know. So the only way that he lost was Big Brain Kazuya.
Yeah. And
Everything else.
I wanted to go into other matches that people might not have seen.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the good ones, I think, you guys know I'm Your Father, who's probably the world's best League player, has a lot of
so
flair.
good. He's so good.
So he played Saint off stream. It was actually recorded and it's on I'm Your Father's YouTube channel, so you guys can watch it.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was actually very close. I think it was 2-0 in Saint's favor, but both matches went to the last round.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned something new that I didn't know. So Lee has a combo on Biggs where he does like a down forward 1 into forward 4-3, and then a standing 3 is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I
instead of
actually
down.
knew that.
I
I knew that.
I didn't know that.
Because I thought that they do. Maybe it's bears only. It's forward 4-3, then down 4-4-4-4-4.
No,
Oh, you
that's
can do more
Kuma-
than that.
Kuma
that's
only.
Kuma only.
That's Kuma only.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I knew that worked on bears. I didn't know if it worked on bigs. All right. But, no,
You can see like in the first game, I'm Your Father was throwing out everything, like all these mind games. He did back 1-1 into HMS three times in a row. Like he knew Saint would eventually press, and like he was going to try and stay ahead in the mind game. But you guys know Saint. Saint is like resilient in all kinds of ways when it comes to tournaments. He's ready for everything basically.
Yeah.
He did well to take that.
Mm.
And the last match, which wasn't streamed, that I only heard of, obviously was not recorded, was Nee versus Arslan.
Yeah.
And so apparently the first game was Kazumi versus Steve, and it was 3-1. And then he switched to Devil Jin, and I think it was 3-1 again.
Oh my god. That's basically like free. If you think about it.
It might
Yeah,
as
he
well
was
be.
ahead. He was ahead.
Yeah. Like, do you guys saw the Arslan versus Lohai? Was that the? That wasn't the match to get into top 8. I think it was the one before.
That was to get into top 16.
Yeah, it was to get into top 16. But when I saw Arslan versus Lohai, it wasn't even close. Like,
It looks like a Tekken Lord versus a warrior. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's like
It's like warrior players like, I used to use this setup, now it doesn't work. What the fuck do I do? Now I just stand there. Yeah, it's what it felt like.
He didn't know. Yeah, he was lost. You could tell. Every time he went for slide 50-50, he got hop kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it was straight away as well. It wasn't even, there was no wait. He just knew. But yeah, like that guy's too good, man. Pakistan, everyone knows now. Pakistan is like have some of the best players ever, in the world.
Their defense is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at Naveed's defense. Like, that's the thing that he has the best in. Like, his defense is amazing. And I think a lot of the Pakistan players, like when I played last time, I felt the same. Like, their defense is just so good. And I don't know how the hell it's so good, but it feels so hard to hit them.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, it seems to be a common trend among them.
I don't mean to sound offensive in any way, but when you're dodging bullets in real life, you got to be good on your defense.
I guess it just pans over.
All sons in the chat. Hello,
When the Evo
talking
prize
about
money is probably
Pakistan.
more than their house, so they obviously got to put their whole life at risk.
Dude, there are so many matches before top 32 that like were heavy. Was JDCR Zagal played on stream?
Yes. Yeah. I know we watched that at
Because
the
there
Rambat.
were a lot of matches I missed because obviously I was running the tournament, but yeah, I must have missed that one.
Yeah, that one I'm pretty sure was running during tournament in Ranbat, and I saw that one, and Zugal won with Steve.
2-1.
2-1. So he played the first game. He played. It was another character. What was it? I don't think it was Mishima. I can't remember. But he switched to Steve after he lost one,
Yeah,
And then he
so
won.
many big names. Like I didn't even know like Take. I mean Noroma lost to Take.
Yeah. Who did Taris Carter lose to? I know Taris Carter did really well actually.
Taris Carter lost to Saint.
Saint. Yeah. Okay.
You know, Saint thinks Taris Carter is the best Kazumi in Korea, in Japan.
Oh, I
Even,
can see
even
that.
when Saint was even when Take was maining Kazumi, he said that to me.
He thinks Taris Carter's better.
Yeah, he said for him it's very hard to play against.
He's very good.
Yeah, the way he plays is very, very different to
Wow.
all the other Kazumis.
Rick's to beat
Hey,
out.
who's-
Oh wow.
Who's Zoo? The guy that beat JDCR, the Steve.
Zoogle. It's a Japanese Steve. I've not heard of him before.
He posts a lot of tech on Twitter. I follow him.
He played Dragonov.
Yeah, he's a Steve main.
Ah,
He's a
Steve
Steve.
Dragonov.
He's a Steve.
Okay. Yeah, he beat JDCR. I do remember that. Now, yeah, it was surprising to me actually that the highest placing Japanese player was Chikurin.
I'm not. I think that guy's really, really good.
He is. No, he's very good.
That guy's really good.
Yeah. You know, when I saw Chikurin was going to play Arslan and he picked Geese, I was like, mistake.
Yeah,
You've made
that
a
guy's
mistake.
over.
Because,
Wait, was
like,
this
I
in
watched.
top 8?
Yeah, in top 8.
Mm.
So I watch a lot of Pakistan Tekken, like before EVO Japan. I've been watching a lot,
Mhm.
and every single player there has a Geese. All of them.
Yeah,
They're all Geese players. They're all Steve players, and they're all Akuma players. All of them.
and Paul. Apparently, Paul is the most popular character.
They're very
in Pakistan.
yeah. I've seen a lot of polls as well. But
Yeah,
like,
so- If you go to like the Pakistan YouTube channel and you type in like, Geese, it's every match. Like it doesn't change. It doesn't change. It still loads the same match. It's all Geese.
yeah. But like, their understanding of Geese defense is very very good. And also the reactions on them are crazy. Did you guys see Chikurin versus Arslan where no hell sweeps hit? There was I think there was one hell sweep in or was it
You
Cherry Berry
mean-
Mango?
No, CBM.
No, it was
Yeah,
it was Cherry Berry Mango.
Cherry Berry
I
Mango.
remember. I
No
remember
hell sweeps
specifically
hit.
not one hell sweep hit.
Yeah. Did you guys see CBM's recap stream on that?
No, what
No,
did he
He,
say?
What
he,
did
was,
he
he was saying because of the way he backdashes, he has like an extended down back input, so he will always be able to block the hell sweeps in the way that CBM times them. Like he picked up on the timing, and so in the end he said he tried crouch dash 1 and it hit him, and he said
Yeah.
maybe this was the key to hit him. He wanted to do like a big mid in the same timing, but he didn't get enough conditioning done, or he didn't get control in the neutral game to be able to do that consistently.
Mhm.
And then, Arslan just controlled it from there and just took the game onto the home stretch.
Man. Too good.
So now all these players are traveling to Pakistan now. Like Knee's going Knee's going to Pakistan next month, I think, in March.
Is he booked? Is he? Is he definitely going?
It's confirmed on
Well,
Twitter.
yeah,
like
he did tweet it out. It's just a matter of when he's going or not.
Okay.
he said before TWT. So I'm looking at the Pakistan chat, and then people are saying March. So let's see.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sure more Korean players or Japanese or whatever top players will go to Pakistan.
Are you gonna go, Dee-on?
Dude,
It's kind of
Pakistan, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
definitely down to go. Like I'm happy to go.
You should
know
go with
how-
Naveed.
Hmm?
You should go with Naveed.
Yeah. He's we've
Yeah,
been, he's,
Naveed's going
we've
back
got a
for
s-
some training.
Yeah.
You guys know how like Jewish people go to Mecca to make pilgrimage. This is like the Tekken pilgrimage. You gotta go to the Holy Land. They probably have like the first ever Prima guide with the frames, and that's the Bible.
Eli, that's Muslim people that go to Mecca, not Jewish people.
Well, I don't know, man.
But yeah, no.
I'm a big. No,
Pakistan
excuse
is
me
gonna
for
be the
my-
Tekken-
Someone brought
the
up an
Tekken-
interesting point in the chat. There'll never be an EVO Japan, but imagine we actually get a Tekken event in Pakistan, and how hard that would be.
It would be impossible. No one except Pakistani players are getting top 8.
if you're a visitor there and the guy sitting next to you looks like an Arab, you just go.
Oh man.
And you know what's one common thing that Pakistani people have is they have the absolute shittest combos ever. Like when they could have closed you off.
But it doesn't
they
matter.
let
They'll
you
win
stand
anyway.
up and then die. Yeah, and then exactly. They let you stand up, and then you're like, "Fuck, I could have died there." Now I'm gonna try low, and it gets blocked, and you die. You feel shit. You're like, "Man, that's
It's all mind
fucked."
game. It's all mind game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all do. Like, if you watch some of the top players, like the absolute top players in Pakistan, they do combos that don't even work. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Six combos.
their combos don't even work, but they still win.
practice. They practice with the PS3. You know.
Yeah, they're still playing Tekken. They're playing Tekken 6.
They're like, Zumi, man, I haven't got this character at home. Man, I have to use something similar and just practice the combos.
Oh,
Man, while we're going to top 8, like 2 guys I want to highlight their performance are a bit. I didn't get a chance to watch him off stream if it happened. Book, because he had a killer run. I'm just seeing it from top 32. He took out Naroma, Fighting Spirit, Rangchu, John Ding.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, took out John Ding 2-0.
Holy shit. Yeah,
and
wow.
his run ended at Arslan.
he beat Fighting Spirit as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fighting Spirit lost to AK and Book. He's not used to the non-Korean playstyle.
Honestly, yeah, that is probably the biggest issue with Korean players in tournament is the exposure to international, especially ones that don't travel much.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like you saw it in top 8. Arslan, every Korean he had, it was just he blew through them.
Mm-hmm.
That style, they don't know it at all.
Yeah, the closest match he had was the one against Jimmy, which was a godlike set.
Was the best.
Oh my god, that was a godlike set. Oh.
Yeah, that's my favorite match so far.
yeah,
was
easily,
so good.
easily.
My favorite part was you guys know when Jimmy got like a big sidestep while standing 1, and he did that altered combo.
Oh yeah.
Like you would think, he didn't do optimized combo, and then you know what? He fucking killed him. He knew the exact damage that he needed to kill him.
Jimmy's combos are next level. They're always
godlike.
perfect.
I mean, my dream outcome for this tournament was to see both of them in grand final.
Yeah, and you know what? It would have been possible, but you know what? We got a set, and it was great.
Yeah.
And fuck, AK honestly.
So we got the next best thing in Arslan wrecking shop with I know AK kind of held his own for a bit at near the end. Actually, no, he didn't. Jesus.
No, look honestly.
Yeah.
Arslan got
3-0
his
the
head.
first set.
Yeah, 3-0 the first set.
Arslan was in his head so badly. AK was just. I've never seen AK look.
He cried
off.
at the end.
Did he?
Really?
I didn't.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was crying.
I don't think he cried.
Well, if you have tears in your eyes, it seems like you're crying.
Look, AK, I've never seen him look lost before. He didn't know what to do because his style didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time because his style works on everyone. Works on Koreans. Did you see him versus Cherry Berry Mango? He did like 8 hop kicks in one round.
Yeah, he saves it.
Yeah, he saved it, and then he just hop kick, and they're all hitting.
They 80% of them hit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought Mr. Naps was gonna annihilate AK, and then AK proved me wrong, and he won that set convincingly.
Yeah.
And that was a first to 3.
No.
That was 2.
No,
That was 2.
It was first.
No.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He won. I did not think he'd win that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called that.
I remember when I was gonna EVO Japan last year, and everyone's like, "Yeah, Apex, blah blah blah, like he plays real dangerous." And I was really preparing for my match against him, and when I actually played him in tournament, like he made almost no mistakes. Like the way he played, he was really sharp. His reactions are sharp. His game is sharp. He
His
knows when
spacing
to
is godlike.
He's a very. I lost 2-0 at the top of my head, so yeah, he's good. I think I told you guys straight. I was like, man, that kid is actually just good.
Yeah. He's very good. I saw him versus. Oh yeah, him versus Jimmy. He was outspacing Jimmy. Like he would always just be out of range and down forward 2 with punish, like all the time. And yeah, he's very solid, and he's got very very good mind game. AK's got probably one of the best mind game players.
Yomi is crazy.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, I think we got the Cinderella story that we all hoped for with Arslan winning.
Man,
especially considering how hard it was for him to get to the tournament itself. I don't know if everyone heard.
Yeah.
Heard of that
Did you guys hear
story.
about that? Eli and Dion, did you guys hear?
No,
About...
I haven't heard about it. What happened?
Okay, I'll let Abby.
I was gonna ask if you knew the full story because I only heard bits and pieces. I'll see if I can bring it up on Twitter.
What was
There's a
it?
Twitter post. Yeah, hold on.
Sorry, what was it? Is this Arslan's journey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't remember most of it, but I don't want to make any mistakes. All I know is
Just
that
give me a second. I'll see if I can bring it up.
Just like a summary, yeah.
There's a video. I'm gonna post it in the chat. Yep. So I found there's like a 5-minute video kind of explaining it. I'll post this. But basically, it took him 3 days to get to EVO Japan, or something like that.
And I think
Jesus
he
Christ.
just made it at the venue in time for pools to start.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It was really
Okay.
hard for him to get there. He had like flight cancellations and there was a lot of visa issues because Pakistan visa is bad. Like you can't really go anywhere with it. It's so hard to get somewhere with a Pakistan visa.
Aren't they having a war somewhere still?
Oh, look, I don't know about the politics of it.
Yeah.
I just know it's basically not like it's difficult. Like I know Naveed. I was talking to Naveed about it, and he's like, I got really, really lucky to get a visa to come to Australia. Like he's very lucky that he got it.
I'm posting the Twitter story in the chat. It's a bit long to just read off the mic, but yeah.
Yeah. So he might have not even made it. But he made it just in time, and then he won. Well, which is it's an insane story, and I'm actually so happy for him because that guy, like, I don't know if you guys know, but Dee-on played Arslan. Was it Malaysia, Dee-on?
Yeah, it was in Malaysia.
And
I actually stayed with him. I stayed with him.
yeah, and it was a while ago. It was like what 6 months ago, or I don't know. It was
in
last year.
April.
It was like, yeah, it was
Like 8
like,
months ago.
yeah, it was a while ago.
Anyway, like, so Dee-on had a set with him, and he played Steve, and like, I don't know what the score was. It was like 19-0 or something.
Well, the overall score was like 19-0.
Yeah.
And then, then I basically got fucked. And as I was like getting destroyed, Usam messages me. He's like, "Hey, I'm downstairs." I was like, "Man, you gotta get up here. Like, can you bully this random kid that I saw? Like, he's all right, man. You should be all right." He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm Tekken God in Korea." I was like, "Yeah, I know." Anyways, they come upstairs. And then they're having a chat. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Usam." He's like, Asam's like, "Oh man, I'm so glad to meet you. Like, I've watched so much of you on YouTube." He's like, yeah, that's me. Anyway, let's play. So like Usan had no idea who he was, and then I think Aslam's told him to have a first to 5, and Aslam didn't go his mains because they possibly might be playing
In
the
tournament.
next day in tournament. So
Yeah.
he went Steve, and it was 5-0. And as soon as like Usam acted real cool, he's like, yeah, pretty cool. I think Aslam went to the toilet, and then like Usam just hyped up. He's like, "Man, this guy's like a real boxer. He knows what he does." He's like, "This is a true boxer." I was like, "Yeah, all right, man. I got the twist. I already lost like 19-0, and yeah."
He's so good, man.
I was watching that set last night, actually, studying his Steve.
Yeah, because Steve is so good.
Yeah, Steve is like.
The reason that I even
good.
started learning Steve is I watched that set and I was like, this guy is like, I've never seen anyone play like that, and he destroyed Dee-on hard. I've never seen like Dee-on versus Koreans. You've watched it, like
We've all
he
seen
can
it.
get games. Yeah, he gets games.
He gets games.
It's always possible to win a set. Like first to 2, Dee-on always has a chance. I saw him versus this guy. I was like, there's no way. Like he knows exactly what to do.
Yeah, I had no idea what he was doing. His defense, like, because my knowledge comes from what I've played in Korea, right? If I go to Korea and I do this mix-up and it hits knee or hits JDCR or Saint, I'm going to just assume that is a mix-up. And I'm going to assume that there is no way you can find a timing for that move. And then this guy's obviously proved me wrong. So I'm like, okay, well, all right.
I think Reck put it very well in regards to the defense and Arslan spacing. Like it's like they're prepared for every single situation with every move. Like the amount of times he would be just out of range for AK's down forward 2 or a hop kick, or just a poke in general, just step to the left and punish.
It's always perfect
It's
range.
always
and
perfect
yeah.
range. Always perfect
Well,
range.
bear in mind, Aslam plays roughly around 16 to 18 hours a day.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that.
he is play absolute shit tons. And then in Pakistan, it's like, hey, let's do like a first to 20, 30, or 50. They get a shitloads of experience. So I asked them, I'm like, how can your defense be that good? Like, I actually asked him, like, I don't even think JDCR blocks this kind of stuff. What are you doing? Like, tell me what you're doing. He's like, once you play that much, you just kind of know like the options, and it can only be A, B, and C, and that's it. And I was like, wow, that's a good answer, but I don't think I'm at that level yet.
Nah.
It's
yeah,
honest.
you need
It's honestly, it was just like I see what you're saying, Dee-on, but just the amount of times he would always be out of range for a certain move and just punish. It's just unbelievable.
It's not a yeah. But yeah, no. Look, if everyone in Pakistan has defense like that,
it's just game over.
Good luck.
Game over.
They see all the stature kick lows. Like even Dee-on was telling me, if he plays Bob against Naveed, he can't hit down back 4 ever. It doesn't hit, which is like I can't even think about that. That's insane to me.
Wait, down back 4 or down back 3?
Down back 3. Down back 3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah,
3. Down back 3. You can't hit it. So stature kicks are basically not usable.
I think it's at certain situations when they know that there's A and B option, you just can't land the low. You gotta like use it at the next levels. Like it has to be very, very unpredictable.
Even if it's like you're going for a mix-up and there's like a big low that you want to hit, you have like Hell Sweep timing 1 and Hell Sweep timing 2. They're already gonna block both timings. It's so weird. In summary, though, like this EVO, especially the top 8, like top 8 mainly was top tier. Like I really enjoyed watching this tournament.
Beautiful.
It was so good because of so many countries in it as well.
100%. The representation was great.
I was so bored of watching like honestly, I love JDCR and Saint, but like if I was at a finals watching JDCR and Saint, man, who gives a fuck who won? All right, like honestly, like I've seen this like 100 times. All right, you won. The other guy won. All right, you guys are twins anyway.
Yeah, there was 3 Koreans in top 8?
2. CBM and Destiny.
What about Saint?
Oh, yes. I forgot.
Yeah.
These days, I don't. Yeah.
Did you guys see Saint versus Chikorin?
Yeah,
that was a heartbreak. Oh man, I really wanted Saint to win that one actually, because I really wanted to see Saint versus Arslan, because I think that match would have been different.
Yep, I've actually got a fucking Facebook message here. When I was messaging Aslam the day before the tournament, I was like, hey man, like, good luck in EVO top 8 tomorrow. I hope you can win. And then the first thing he asked me is like, what do you think about Book? And I was like, yeah, like Book's pretty good. He's pretty aggressive. And then he goes, well, and I asked him, I was like, what character are you going to use? He's like, I'm going to play Kazumi. And I was like, why are you playing Kazumi? He goes, oh, because in Pakistan, I have so much experience with with Kazumi versus Jin. So he said he's just going to play Kazumi. And I was like, okay. Like, I was like, how do you feel about Book? And he's like, I'm actually not worried. Like, I'm not even practicing for it. He's like, I'm more concerned about my next match, which is going to be against Saint. That's what he actually said.
Yeah, because he thought Saint was going to beat Chikorin.
Yeah, and he goes, what is Saint's weakness? I was like, very difficult question. Everything is good. I can't explain that to you. He was basically planning a step ahead.
You know what's funny? I didn't expect Destiny to pick Asuka in the top 8.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Okay, Destiny this is the first time he's actually done very well in an international tournament, and his tournament experience is actually very limited. Like, he's very good at deathmatch, but his tournament experience is very limited, and he's still at the mindset where he thinks it's the best of one, I can use anything and might just get it. But I think at the end of the day, we all know your main character is what gets you there in the end.
Yep.
And another thing that's for Destiny that I think was a big step back for him was the fact that he was originally a keyboard player, and those are banned for PS4 tournaments.
Is that recently?
Yes.
He's made the transition, or
he uses Mixbox now.
Mixbox, okay. Now
he used to be a keyboard player.
How different is Mixbox Is
Well,
what
it's
I want to know.
it's like going from maybe Japanese leather to Korean leather, something like that. That kind of step.
Because yeah.
So
I'm not sure.
you it feels familiar, but it feels somewhat different.
Okay. Yeah. Because he played. I think the first match he played against was it Chikurin?
Destiny?
Yeah. It
No,
was
CBM,
No, it was
CBM.
CBM.
Oh, CBM. Yep. And he played. I think it was Asuka. Then it was Akuma. He didn't play
Yeah.
Geese.
There you go.
Yeah. He lost pretty badly. But
I can understand where like
yeah.
Geese is really bad against Jin, but I mean, if it's your main character, you gotta trust it. Like
Yeah.
you know where the weakness is. You know when the other guy's probably gonna parry. You've probably seen this situation before. You can get around it,
Yeah.
right? It's not unbeatable. It's harder, but it's not unbeatable.
Yeah. That's definitely right. Yeah. Did we miss any matches in the top 8? I don't think so. AK just had a godlike run, and good on him.
Yeah, you gotta give him props.
Yeah, good on him. Honestly, like he basically beat everybody except
Arslan.
Arslan. He beat everyone but Arslan. He made it through. Yeah, he made it to grand finals in winners, and look, he's proven that he's one of the best in the world. I think. But yeah, Arslan is just whew.
Yeah, before he beat Jimmy, he beat Ulsan, Fight Spirit, yeah.
Yeah, look, honestly, that run is Arslan's.
Dude,
Everyone talks about how hard Arslan's run
honestly,
was.
everyone who got to top 8 had a hard run. Everyone.
Yeah, it's EVO Japan.
Yeah,
It's
there was
gotta
this.
be.
Yeah, there was no fluke.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the best.
I think the most impressive run, in my opinion, but aside from AK's, aside from
Arslan?
Arslan's, is AK.
Yeah.
He managed to win 5 grand finals. I don't think anyone could have called that.
100%.
No.
Super impressive with the way he played defense, the way he mind gamed, the way he did everything. And he also had like a list of all these Korean players and top tier players that he beat. Not many people are talking about that because it's overshadowed by Arslan. But nevertheless, he pretty much went through all the players and he just swept through them. He went through Fighting Spirit, Ulsan, Mr. Naps, and all these other guys. But yeah, this tournament is stacked. So if you had to beat some top players to get to the top, that's
Yeah.
I think that's all the matches. But yeah.
How did Dojin go? I forgot. Do you guys
He
know?
went? I didn't even know he went.
I think he got top 32,
49th.
49.
Wow, he was the only character it has here as well is Claudio.
So
I saw one of his matches.
I'm gonna bring up a list of the standings just to see where people play.
I can post it in the Discord of the Invent Hubs. Hold on.
Oh, I asked Dojin, I was like, man, you play like the most amount of characters I've ever seen. Do you base this on the player that you play, or do you base on the matchup? And he goes, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. I have like 3 characters I just want to play on the day, and then I do a eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like, I was like, are you being serious? He's like, yeah, no. He's like, I have no counter pick. I don't even give a fuck if it's a counter pick. I just have 3 that I want to play, and then I eeny, meeny, miny, mo the rest.
Christ, maybe that's why he plays 49. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
AK, on the other hand, has 2 characters or 3 most, and then as soon as he loses, he looks at his father, and his father will give him the nod,
Really?
or not the nod.
Really?
And then, that indicates him to swap or not swap. Yep, 100%.
Really? That's really interesting because do you guys remember the very last match where he was hovering Paul? And he was thinking about it for a very long time. Now, was he waiting for a nod there, or was he just...
He must have 100%. I mean, like, I've been to so many events, and I even had a chat with him about this. Like, he nods. He like, I saw this one where he was playing Kurans at Ref Major, where he was down again, and his dad just looked at him, stood up, and just nodded, and then he changed to Jack, and it became pretty close after that.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I have no idea how much AK's father has an influence over him regarding Tekken. Obviously, to some degree, if he allows the counter pick. So does that mean he plays himself? Because why
does he what? Sorry.
Does that mean he plays the game to an extent himself? Because what would be his reason for saying, okay, now is a good time to pick? I mean, He'd have to have some knowledge.
He always has like two. He's generally just on two characters, right? He
Mhm.
doesn't have more than two. Like I've never seen more than three at least. And then his father's watched so much of his games to have a good feel of what his son's gonna perform well. And like he doesn't know it himself sometimes. So he'll look at his father and his dad will be like, he just nods, literally just goes, and then that's it. Oh, I see the
Wow,
switch.
that's great.
That's
That's
great, but
actually great.
that's great. But oh man,
I want to bring up
that's
something.
a lot of trust you're putting in. That's great that you're putting that much trust, but I feel like one day he should come to the decision himself about what's good for a pick or not.
No, but the thing is, if he feels like he went Shaheen and he lost, and he doesn't think there needs to be a pick, he's just going to pick Shaheen. He doesn't ask.
Okay, so it's more just like
When he's lost, yes, exactly. When he's not
Okay,
sure, he'll look down
yeah,
at the stage, he'll
okay.
look at his father,
I
and
understand now. Interesting.
yeah, exactly.
It's
So
more
I have
just
something.
confirmation.
I have something I want to say. Okay, let's assume that AK was watching Arslan versus Boalov, and he saw that he was weak to some 50-50 or whatever, and he said, "Well, my whatever I'm doing with Shane, it's not working. It's my last chance." Maybe he thought about doing some 50-50 to beat Arslan, so he went with Paul. Now I know that's a stretch of the imagination, considering Paul's 50-50 is absolute trash against people who have really good movement.
Yep.
Like you're never going to hit a demo man in your life.
Yeah.
It's all you're going to do is quarter circle forward 3 or whatever. But even then, you're going to be out of range of Death Fist, and you're going to block the load, all this stuff. But could that have been something like in his mind? He's saying like, I'm playing solid Tekken. I'm trying to be ahead of him in a neutral. I'm trying to mix him up, and nothing's working. So I got to go to something, like if I get one big hit, I'll take this round. Probably with the momentum, go to the next match and go to the next match, and maybe have a snowball effect. I think he had to try something, and you guys know his other character is Jack, and I don't know how confident he would have been playing Jack versus Arslan in a 1-to-1. Because that was his last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
thinking about it, it's 1-to-1, and you want to go Paul or Jack. I think you go Paul.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly,
I agree.
My thing with I was telling Reck, my thing is I think he went with the change way too late.
yeah, we were talking about this on the day, and we were like, if you wanted to pick a different character, you should have tested it before the reset.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been
where he had more time to allow to give.
Yeah. So,
I think when you're playing Tekken at that kind of level, though, especially at the finals of the EVO, I think that he understands that this player is not going to just lose to a 50-50 game or
Yeah.
one specific thing. Like I'm sure at that stage, especially when he's lost a full set and 2 games, he's well aware that like Jack. I think Jack would have been a really bad pick because.
yeah.
Not only the fact that I do think AK's Jack is very good, but he needs to hold out 2 games. Do you know how hard 2 games is? As opposed to if it was like last game and then 1-1 and it's just the decision making just 1 game, Jack would have been great. But the fact that if he won that game, he would have had to deal with another game with Jack. That would be that's really hard.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Kazumi versus Jack is harder in season 2 because of 1-1 -3 down back 1. Beats another jab and you can't hop kick after it. So it's like the mind game is different, but Arslan is on another level where it won't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the thing is, if Arslan lost, he could have switched.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have, but yeah,
I probably wouldn't have.
He could have.
But he could have. Like, so
He
it
always
is.
had the option.
It is, yeah. But from what I've heard, beating Arslan with Jack is like an impossible task.
It's fucking hard, man.
Yeah.
So fucking hard. I struggled to even poke this guy with that character.
So yeah.
He's definitely thinking of something we're not. Like sometimes I run up to him and I try to do a grab and I fuck up my 4 and it became a down 4-2 and it killed him. He's like, "Oh, very nice, very nice." And I'm thinking, man, I have no fucking idea why he said that, but yeah, all right.
Do we have any other thoughts to wrap up this EVO chatter?
I wanted to briefly touch on the announcements.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's a good one. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, well, the first announcement was the the announcement of the announcement that's coming of the Tekken World Tour.
Yeah.
The details, like they did, they touched on. Remind me of the things I'm missing. They're gonna address the issue of prize money.
I missed most of that, so I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure what
they're gonna touch on the issue of prize money as to how.
Well, that's good.
Or how they're gonna do that. I think that's gonna come on. I think March the 28th. They said.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah. Regarding other details of the TWT, that's coming.
The first tournament is the mix-up
Where's
It's in
that?
France,
in
yeah. it's in
France.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the final round is not part of the TWT this year, which I know disappointed a lot of the Americans.
That's crazy.
Wow, I didn't know that. Final
Yeah.
round's not part of the TWT. Is there a reason for that?
It's just they're not ready by that time or something.
Wow.
I don't. We can only assume.
Can't believe
Hopefully,
that.
Strong Style's a part of it. Like, that's meant to be one of the best Tekken events ever.
Strong Style isn't really like it's a Tekken only event, and it's usually like a community thing.
Yeah,
I don't
it's a
know if it's
community
ever
thing.
been. It's like I'm trying to find something. It's like a Master Cup type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, look, Saint told me that out of every tournament he's been in his whole life, Strong Style's the best. It's all Tekken.
Because it's focused around Tekken. That's why.
Yeah, it's all Tekken. Every match is streamed. It's like there's only Tekken players there. He said if you want to go to anything, go to stream.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Dude, I'd love
Australia.
Pakistani team in Strong Style.
Oh my god.
3v3.
Can you imagine a Pakistani team in Master Cup?
Can you imagine the top three from Pakistan? Hira, Imran, and Aslan.
What would happen was
Good
there would
luck.
be a team of three, and two guys would probably like somewhere in between not make it because of visa issues, and they still end up winning. They'd be like,
still
"It's
win.
okay, we got one
They
guy. We
still
got
win.
one guy, man.
We got one guy. It's all good.
Yeah. Here's the army here."
Oh my
Holy
god.
crap. But yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait for future. I think I forget the exact date. I keep wanting to think it's March the 28th for the details. But yeah, aside from that, we had the Julia gameplay.
The trailers,
The
yeah.
trailers.
You know, my favorite part of those trailers are they're bringing stage mods.
Yeah, me too.
That's
They're
great.
bringing stage
Yeah,
mods. That's
dude.
so good.
Alchemist
Inbuilt stage mods?
Alchemist was the first person I thought of when I saw that.
Yes.
Oh my god, green! We finally have a green stage. I can see. Finally, you guys don't know this whole time. I can only see like 10 pixels on the screen at any given point. I've been playing Tekken in 1080. Like you guys been playing in 1080p. I've been playing in 10p.
8-bit. 8-bit
Pretty much this whole
Tekken.
time.
No, because you know what as well? I think that they're actually because we were watching the trailer, right? But Abby's game was also set up right next to it, and Abby's got stage mods as well. And we were looking at it side by side, and it looks exactly the same. Like, it looks like they have these stage mods that currently exist, and they've actually like either bought them or taken them or something.
Well, the mods were based off of 7.0 stages, and what they're doing is just adding 7.0 stages back. Basically,
Because you know Infinite Azure, the one at night.
Yeah.
Abby had that mod. That one wasn't in
It
it.
looked almost
It's exactly the same.
it doesn't have the horizon, the black
yeah,
mountain.
it just doesn't have the black.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. But the color scheme.
Talking about the DLCs, I was just reading on Facebook that because they've got the Philippines Tekken esports something whatever happening right now, right? So anyway, Negan and Julia's banned from the tournaments until further notice.
Why?
So it's like a Street Fighter thing. It's like if Sagat comes out, you can't play him. You got to give him like a bit of
sorry,
time.
when's their tournament? When's the next tournament?
I don't know, like soonish, like a few days after.
Obviously, I understand that. You got to have.
I think the tournament in New Zealand is not banned. I'm pretty sure.
You might have to ask about it.
If Red Zone Rumble is it's first week of March, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 2 days after the character comes out. But it's not
100%. They're gonna be banned.
Why? I've never heard about it. I'm gonna practice Negan overnight, and I'm gonna troll the fuck out of it when I'm over there.
Alright, you can do that, but don't be surprised when you get there, Dee-on, and those characters are banned. Because I think the normal allowance is, I want to say 14 days.
No, because Noctis was played the next day, and Kuran's lost in a TWT match.
Really?
Yeah, but that's
You're
that's
right.
true.
Tekken,
You're right.
Tekken doesn't have this rule. You're thinking about Street Fighter.
Even so, Ivy, I don't know if you remember, was it 2016 or maybe 2017 when Urian and Jury were dual released just before EVO?
Mm-hmm.
And they were allowed to play at EVO. You were allowed to play them.
I guess different regions must have different rules.
Yeah,
regarding that.
it'll
Yeah,
actually just
different regions,
be
different
depending on the tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Also practice Negan.
Because I know that's been a thing in Melbourne for a lot of games for a while. There has to be like a minimum, I want to say 7-day or 14-day wait. But yeah.
Can you guys... Sorry, go.
There you go. No, I was gonna say the only thing I'm hoping for in the DLC is that Negan has a lot of sound effects, so I control the fuck out of people.
Oh
Like
my god!
little pig, little pig, and just
Oh.
screaming at their face and fucking
Can you
troll
guys
the fuck out of
imagine-
people.
Can you guys imagine going to a major with like 150 Tekken players and you ask someone, hey, who do you play? He says, oh, I'm a Negan main. That's something that's going to be happening soon. I'm a Negan main. It just sounds so funny to me.
People are gonna hate Negan mains as well. He's gonna be cheap. And...
Oh man, Negan's move is so cheap, you know. It's like
yeah. It's like, oh my god. Fuck.
Yeah, he like it's obviously hard to tell before he's actually released when you get it, but he looks pretty decent.
Honestly, I saw like a Power Crush wall bounce, a Power Crush launcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a auto launch on lows in a stance. He's got like 3 rage drives.
2 at
something
the
like that.
2 at the minimum.
Yeah, he's like actually might be really really good.
He looks like
they
he
have
does
to promote
damage as
AMC.
well.
Yeah, they do have to promote Walking Dead.
Yeah, so like I think the first month the character will be like absolute fucking OP, and then the second week it'll be like the character will be dead. It'll be like everything is crap. That's what happened to fucking Akuma, right? Like he was like the most OP fucking character. Now he's still very good, but
He's good,
it made him exactly, yeah. But now it's the vibe is dead because he was fucking Imber at one stage.
Do you guys remember when Punko made top 3 at EVO?
Yep.
That was the darkest timeline.
Dude, Nee picked Akuma against JDCR and won. that
Really?
tournament.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Oh.
same tournament.
Oh, yeah,
Kokoma
I
lost to
remember.
Pekos. Yeah, Kokoma lost to Pekos when Pekos was down. He just picked Akuma and won. And Kokoma was like, "I had preparation for this, but I just guessed wrong."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they're dropping next week, I think.
Yeah. Any of you guys Julia players or?
In
Barry.
Barry. In
Barry,
Melbourne,
okay.
it's Barry. Rainbow Warrior. I'm not sure if Julia.
Keat.
Yeah.
Keat.
Yeah, I'm not sure in Sydney if Julia is enough to pull Bryce out of
Bryce.
retirement. Is it? I mean, Sydney's
I
gonna have
spoke to Bryce.
Yes,
He's
yes,
up
yes.
to that.
Sydney's
No, I
gonna have to
spoke to him.
confirm that.
You're gonna have to ask Yusuf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good, but I just want to see what's on the horizon because these are the last characters of season 2 of DLC. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what's next. I mean, as far as legacy characters, there's not many left, and if they're doing a season 3 with the same amount of characters, it's safe to say. It's safe.
Honestly, I can't even think about how many more characters they'd bring back. Like,
Ganyu.
unless
Ganryu.
Ah,
Ganryu's
Ganryu.
got to be top of that
Yeah.
list.
Bruce.
that's a stretch.
And
Maybe.
I would have said a stretch.
Except for Marduk.
But they brought back Marduk, so.
Yeah, Zafina definitely.
Oh, Zafina.
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Zafina.
Yeah, I'm very sure
yeah.
Zafina. Yeah, there would be Wong, although he's dead.
Yay.
He's a very unique
I would
character.
play him. I would play
The
him.
only 2 Zafina mains in all of Australia are watching this podcast right now.
I see you, Yusuf.
Dude,
Oh,
Yusuf
babe.
only picked her because she was hot.
But yeah,
Mokujin would be nice.
I would love just a brand new character, even though I feel like it's a bit late at this stage. But
Yeah, I can see it.
Wang's grandson.
no.
When's kids?
So shall you?
I actually saw
That-
someone. I actually saw someone asking for Forest Law. Can you imagine the audacity on this man
Forest
asking for Forest Law?
Nah, I'm fine. Ugh, Mokujin would be great.
That'd be a nice touch, but
Yeah.
I need Mokujin, man.
I would
Yeah.
love Mokujin.
What Hamplon said is my dream. I need a new Tekken character, but I know it's very unlikely.
no, that's what I said. That's what I said. Like at this stage, I feel like a new character is something you promote from the get go. I think it's a bit late during the. But
Yeah,
I'd like to
might
see
be.
that. If a new character's coming, it's gonna be guest, and we know that's already gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alchemist. I know you're not down with that.
I don't. I mean, they can go in any direction at this point. We've got Negan coming. You can't really predict what they're gonna add.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
I think that covers everything from EVO Japan.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Anything else? Or is it a good time to segue to the events that would happen locally during the same weekend?
All right.
Yeah, I think we can transition.
All right. Let me just give a little backstory for those that don't know. If you're international and you don't know the events going on in Australia, Reck decided to come down because he wanted to challenge himself. He come down to Melbourne. The 3 Tekken. He'd been up to Brisbane, played a lot of the Brisbane guys. Obviously, he's from Sydney. He plays Sydney on the regular, and I guess he felt confident and wanted to come down and challenge what Melbourne had to offer. So we arranged a series of exhibition matches between a lot of our top guys and himself. I think the full list was him versus Daniel, Lee Min Ho. If you don't know Lee Min Ho, he's a Kudan killer from BAM.
I think there was 10 all up. So in order, I remember. So I played Paul. I played Damien.
Dread Tech.
Dread Tech.
Gummo.
Rami.
Gunmo.
Rami.
BPG.
BPG.
aka Sick Man of China.
Yep.
You said Jono?
Jono.
Kajeski.
Daniel, and 10.
10.
So that was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, long story short, he won 9-1.
Yeah.
So pretty much set out and he pretty much called what he said to do. He said the only guy that he would probably not beat if was 10, and yeah. 10.
Oh, and the vid, but you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I did call Melbourne out. It was a while ago, actually, maybe a couple months ago, and I said I've gotten a lot better, and if I come to Melbourne, I'm going to beat everybody except for maybe 10. And I came down and I did exactly that. And also the only person I lost to in tournament was Navid. So I came second
at the tournament. Was 10 at
so
the
yeah, Tin
Was?
wasn't at the tournament.
10 wasn't at the tournament.
Tin wasn't. So he came after. Now, yeah. So I lost Navid in winners semis of the pool, I think. And then I lost him again in grand finals.
No, we forgot Aiken on that list. Aiken didn't get.
So yeah, so I didn't play 2 people that I wanted to play, which was Aiken and Brown Man. Those matches didn't happen, which I'm going to get them done at BAM. I'm sorry to both of them for not having enough time.
Man, Kazuya play runs so fast nowadays.
No, Aiken didn't run. Honestly, it's just time constraints. Now, I thought I'd be able to get it all done, but I didn't think about the tournament. I didn't think about how dead I would be on the Saturday. Because literally, like, after the tournament, after grand finals, everyone went out to eat. Shout out to Royal Stacks. And after I ate, I was just like, my eyes started closing, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to play any more matches this afternoon. So I just told Abby, like, look, can we do them all tomorrow, the rest of them? And he said, look, we'll organize something. So massive shout outs, by the way, to Abby and Dread Tech, who both bought speakers for me on the weekend because the internet cafe we went to didn't have any. So we would have to play without sound. But yeah, the Sunday I went and played Jono, Kajeski, and Daniel at Abby's place.
We should talk about the players and how you felt against them.
I want to ask Dee-on especially because, you know, out of everyone here, he probably has a little bit more insight because, you know, Dee-on hasn't been in Melbourne the The last time you were here was Pegasus Cup, so you were a little bit privy to how how we played. Can I
Yeah, and I play shitloads of you guys online. Actually, when I'm back, I play shitloads of casuals as well. So, and by all means, I've been living there for like what 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Previously, so.
I'll do it in order of the people I remember I versed. So first up was Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you feel about that match? Like, were you nervous before the match? Did you have
Honestly,
like an
I was very nervous starting my matches because I basically had like 7 Melbourne dudes behind me backing their boys. And I'm sitting there with like just myself, and I'm like, all right, it begins now. I've got to prove myself. And now Paul's actually a really nice dude, and he's like, we'll put $20 on it, and I was like, we don't really have to if you don't want to. Like, I didn't really want to, like, because I don't want to have to do it with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, look, we'll just do it. I want to put money on it, and I was like, fine. So we did that, and we only had a first to 3, so that was the shortest set I had all weekend, and I won that one 3-0.
How did you feel about that match though? Like, was it
So
difficult, or was it like was something
that
strange
one,
about the way he plays, or was it what you expected, or how was it?
I've seen Paul play online before, so I kind of knew what to expect. But I think the biggest problem Paul had was when I would wait out something like his back 3, instead of in that same situation, instead of back 3, instead of doing something else, he would wait.
So you got stuck.
Yeah, and he got stuck and he got scared.
Mhm.
And I took advantage of that, and I was just very aggressive. And I could tell he doesn't really understand Steve very well. Actually, that was a big takeaway from me going to Melbourne. Was Melbourne doesn't really understand Steve at
I
that.
think I told the Melbourne guys that even. I was like, guys, if you want to, play Reck, you guys got to know Steve well.
Yeah. So some people knew Steve better than others.
Mm.
But overall, the Steve experience, I think, isn't that big. You guys only have one Steve player, which is Kajeski, which I'll talk about later. So yeah, so Paul was 3-0.
Obviously, the skill gap is very
Yeah,
present
so
there with you and Paul.
yeah, so I mean, I was the favorite to win that one. I think most
Yeah.
people didn't expect that, and it did go as about expected. 3-0 is kind of what I wanted. Maybe 3-1, but it shouldn't have been any more than that. Next I think was Darren straight after that.
Yeah,
I think
it was
it was
Dread Tech
yeah,
right after that.
it was Dread Tech. And I know Dread is really new, but he's also like an up and comer, and I know he's a hard worker and he's a smart dude. So me playing him, I think that was another 5-0. And I also felt, one, he doesn't understand Steve, but two, my style for him is something he wouldn't have come across. And a lot of the time, I would just be counter hitting him with delay back 1. I didn't even really have to set timing up. He just wasn't used to it. I think he was more used to basic Tekken, where people are taking their turns and not really focusing on the other aspects of the game. So I won that one it was a convincing 5-0, I think. Next was Damien. And that match was actually
very interesting.
Yeah, so I've never played Damien before, not
Damien,
online.
aka, Rainbow Warrior.
Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah.
So I've never played Damien before. I didn't really know what to expect. And I think I won the first 2 games. And then I lost the next 2, and I was just thinking to myself, I don't understand what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, like, in my head, I was doing things that worked, and I thought, okay, these have worked for 2 games. Now I'm going to switch it up, because this is a longer set. So I would do things in some situations, like back 1 into flicker 1 down 1. And the first time I did that, the 3rd game, he did her sidestep launch.
Back
And I
one.
just thought, yeah, is that what hers is? Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what the input
The
is.
backhand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that
that's-
steps. And I was like, oh, okay, that was a good read. And then the next round, I did it again, but I waited, and he did the same thing, and I thought, why is this coming out? Like, has he got a read or something? And then I realized, I think he's just kind of panicking. And at the end, I did win 5-3. And yeah, that actually match gave me a lot of trouble. comparatively with the ones I just had before.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think I still won like pretty convincing. 5-3 is not. It's not
It's not
like
convincing.
it's not smash, but it's like you know, I've
No,
won.
you're ahead. You're ahead.
Yeah, in my head. I've
5-3
won.
can be very convincing depending on how the match actually played
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm. You'll never know unless you watch the match, because
Yeah.
like a 2-0 might seem convincing, but at the same time might not. It could have gone to
Yeah.
last round. Yeah.
Last round.
So
or
you could have lost the first 3 matches, then won 5 straight or something.
Yeah. So I think it was 2-2. Then I won 1. He won 1. Then I won 2. But yeah. So that match probably gave me the most trouble that night. Next up was Gunmo. And I know
Going back on Damien's match a little bit.
Yeah.
When you were having that match with Damien, I was on the phone with Jim. We were just watching your match, and he's like, "Did you prepare this guy for this guy?" I was like, "No, I kind of forgot about this one." He's like, "Oh, he's fucked. This is the only one he's gonna have the most trouble with him."
Yeah. So I did give me the most trouble
out
that
of
night.
everyone on the night. I would have said the same thing on that first night. 100% would have said the same thing.
Damien gave me the most trouble the first night. But I still won. I think mostly just to basic defense.
Yeah, you know what? I think Damien gives me the most trouble in Melbourne as well. Like,
Yeah.
with all honesty, I mean, like, yeah, like sometimes I could have him like completely dominated, and sometimes I don't even know how the fuck I'm 2 games down. Like, really, I'm serious.
Yeah. Then next up was Gunmo. And I know Gunmo actually came back from Korea. So I did want to see what was, if he's gonna give me trouble, but that was a pretty clean 5-0. And Gunmo, I think has a problem with pressing too many buttons, and if you do that against Steve, you're just gonna get counter hit and you're gonna die.
There was a lot of situations which I remember specifically where he would step into button and it was no confirm on width. So you do back 1, he does sidestep right, down forward 2.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Sidestep right will always sidestep right attack, especially if you short step. It'll always lose to flicker 1, down 1. That's 51 damage. Flicker 1, down 1 into down back 2 plus stupid Oki.
Yeah,
and if you're getting hit by that continuously, you're gonna lose half your life in one situation.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There was also another situation where I would do back 1-2 on block, and go into peekaboo, and then I did peekaboo 2, and every single time, I think it was 4 times in a row that I did that, Gunmo would sidestep right down forward 2, and it would always counter hit him, and he always died for it. So I think Gunmo needs to maybe pay more attention to the person he's playing against, and also, if he's getting counter hit, you have to see where you're getting counter hit and stop. That's really important.
Do you feel like he plays a little bit too flowchart?
A little bit. Like, mostly he was just trying to be aggressive, but he wasn't really setting anything up. And my defense was good enough to just pull me through that game, I think, as well as I would just do basic Steve situations. He doesn't really understand Steve that well either, so I could just do basic Steve like situations and I would win there. So that was a pretty clean 5-0.
Yep.
Now the next day, I think my first match was me versus Rami.
First match was BPG.
BPG.
Oh, BPG was first. You're right. BPG is actually a super solid player. I think he's quite good.
Yep.
He had some good reads. That was actually a competitive set. It was a good set.
Very hype set.
I won 5-3. Man, people were going crazy. Every time that he hit a quarter circle forward 1 or something, like I just hear an eruption behind me, and I'm like, okay, got to deal with this now. But I did win that one 5-3. I think in the end I was being more convincing about the wins, so it was close up until I hit, I think, about 3, and then I started winning. The last 2 games I won pretty handily. BPG's got a pretty good style. And with Paul, that's scary. He was very on point with his back 1-2 punish. And he was high crushing back 1 with quarter circle forward 1, which was really good.
So you should be doing.
Yeah, that was good. And he was using a lot of quarter circle forward 3, which is the most annoying move.
Paul's best move.
Yeah, that's Eli's favorite move. And he did really well, and he was being pretty patient. And yeah, so I won that.
BPG's style is actually in between Melbourne and Sydney. He's like if you play him, you wouldn't feel the normal Melbourne feel, like that super aggressive.
Different.
He did. I agree with you here. Like, he's one of the only players in Melbourne that I feel like he's a bit half Melbourne, half Sydney.
Okay, that's interesting. Because it was my first time kind of playing all Melbourne. Anyway, shout outs to Jack. He's a really cool guy, and I think his
Yeah.
Tekken's really good.
Yeah, I think out of last year, he was one of the guys that improved the most.
After that was Rami. Now, I watched Kajeski versus Rami before. Like, I know they had a first to 5 where Kajeski won 5-4. And so I sort of knew what to expect. And man, we actually had some stick issues at the beginning of that, and we had to reset the game at the beginning. There's a bunch of delays that day. But so playing Rami, I sort of knew what to expect, but it was a bit of a frustrating set. I think I won mostly just to my patience and I have like pretty decent Eddie defense. I can understand how to play against Eddie. Eddie versus Steve is actually not super favored for anyone. I think that matchup's pretty even.
Right weave is really good against Eddie.
Right weave is good.
You know when Abby made a comment on that second, there was this like I think it was last round of of one of the sets where Abby said, he goes, "Oh, if it doesn't work, just keep trying it out." Like, I remember watching you and Eli in practice mode, practicing that exact same situation with, you know the one I'm talking about. You're peekaboo down 1. You guys tested that for like a good 20 minutes, and I was like, and they're like, this is what Rami's gonna do, and it's gonna work. And you guys were doing it. You were doing it throughout that whole match. Every time Rami did it, he was dying. He lost like a fourth of his blood from trying it out. And then at that last second, where that exact same situation is meant to work, it fucked up. And then he won. Rami's like, yeah! And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, okay, you got it. Fair enough.
No,
but that is
100%. I knew. Like, he should have stopped. Like, it was irrelevant that he got it to that launcher. I forget the input, the one where he sways back. It was irrelevant that he got it that one time because he proceeded to keep using the move, and he kept dying to it. And
look, honestly, him using it won me more.
Reck and Eli have lobbied this character like a fucking shitloads of hours. So whatever was hitting that day wasn't just hitting. It was like they actually tested it out. So I was like, okay, if Rami doesn't realize this is hitting, he's gonna die. And but that one time he did get away, so I remember it really well.
It won him a game. It won him a game.
But that's it. Every time.
Just like, that's fine. It lost him like 4 games, so
yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take it. So Rami didn't give a shit about what I was doing, really.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And I also apparently after I won, he's like, the table was too high. He was saying that he would probably win in a run.
Fuck you, Rami. Shut the fuck up, Rami. Fuck you. And stop fucking complaining. You should have said it during the match.
Yeah. Honestly, it wasn't a bad set. Actually, I really like Rami. He's a very funny guy. But yeah.
But Rami's game focus more on mind games anyway. So he's so he's a different, like, the way he wins is different from everyone else. Like since Tag 2, he's been focused on just mind games.
That's actually a really good way of putting it. It has like a different win condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's no good or bad there. There's definitely no good or bad. Whatever gets you the win gets you the win.
Yeah. Anyway, so I won that one 5-3. There was some like crazy slow mos and like, he choked hard some of those matches.
Rami was his worst enemy in that.
Like he had a game winning combo and then he just dropped it for literally no reason. Like just the wrong move came out and I have no idea why. And I was like, I'm just gonna take it, and I did. Anyway, so I won that one 5-3. And then tournament started. So we can talk about that later if you want. I'll keep going through the matches.
Yeah, we'll end with the tournament.
All right. So after Rami, I think I didn't have any more. I didn't have any more exhibitions that day until the next day. And then the first up on that day was Jono, which is B-Boy Phoenix. Now, I didn't really know what to expect.
Sorry, did he use Paul?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. It was a Paul match. Now I did expect to run into a few Pauls. I played against Eli's Paul a bit, but Eli's Paul is just not the same. It's not the same. I actually had a lot less trouble against Jono than I did against BPG. And I could tell that Jono would get frustrated when something dropped or when something didn't work, and I could feel it, and I used that momentum. Now, also a big part of my winning that was that Jono really didn't fully understand what I was doing with Steve. I don't think anyone in Melbourne is used to weaving, or the way that I use weave. Kajeski sort of weaves, but not the same way that I do. And it actually won me a lot. And it made people scared to press, and that just pushed my momentum very, very high in that match. And I won that one 5-1. Then let me think.
Well, tell me about what you think. So what was the key thing that you had that you felt
So
controlling the match towards the end of the match with Jono?
okay,
Talk
so
about
the way I controlled Jono was a lot of back one checking.
that. Okay.
And the thing is, after back one was blocked, he didn't understand my options.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he would check me. A lot of the time, Jono checks with punch.
Down.
So I got a lot of punch parry. He
Yeah.
checks with down forward 1,
Down
he
forward.
checks with down forward 2, and he checks
Down
with back
forward 2.
1.
I was gonna
Every-
say, yeah, I saw a lot of down forward 2s that match. After,
Yeah.
especially after, I think it's like you down forward 2 into duck stance into cancel. There was a lot of down forward 2.
Yeah, so I
yeah.
realized that, and I parried it like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he kept checking me when he shouldn't have, and that killed him. And also, after back one on block, if I right weave, every option he picked loses to my right weave, and he didn't see that. So he would pick he would either duck, so expecting flicker 1 down 1. He would do down forward 2, which is the right wave. He would do back 1, which loses to right wave because it goes under. He would do down forward 1, which loses to right wave. So I would just check him with right wave and continue my pressure after back 1.
You got to be doing that quarter circle forward 3 and
Yeah.
1.
Yeah. Now
They're the
BPG.
corners.
Yeah, the way
When
BPG checked me was quarter circle forward 3. I remember that.
When you see back 1 and you see how long the Steve waits before they use their move, then you do either 1 or 3. Doesn't matter if it's a high or low. Doesn't matter. You get the timing, and you make them pay for it. If they weave into button and the timing's off, they get counter hit, and that's 50 damage from that counter hit low, or they get launched for like 70 damage with the 1, and you can't punch parry that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So BPG was doing that to me.
Yeah.
And that's what gave me a lot more trouble. But Jono didn't understand those options, I think, and that lost him that match. Next was Kajeski. Now, I didn't know what to expect because I've never played Kajeski, and everybody from Melbourne told me this guy's the best Steve in Australia besides Naveed. And I was like, I don't think so. So I've been playing Eli Steve for a while, and I know how Steve versus Steve works.
We play mirror non-stop, basically.
Yeah, we play a lot of mirror. We play a lot of mirror. I understand the matchup, and even though Kajeski Steve is very different, I actually think it's not very developed. So he has actually very good neutral timing. He's very good at kind of feeling when you want to come in. But he isn't really setting anything up. And that's the next level with Steve, and you really, really have to be setting up your timing counter hit with Steve. That's really important. Now, a lot of the times he knew some Steve situations very well, like ones that I knew. So every time I do down 2-1, he would check me with right weave into shoulder, which beats down 2-1-2, and beats a lot of options actually. Now, I didn't actually make him pay for it in that set, but I didn't really have to pull that out. I didn't need it. Now, what else was Kajeski doing? Oh, yeah. A lot of the time, so I know what's frustrating against Steve. And every time he would down 2-1 me, he would be trying to get pressure, and I would just dick jab. And I did that. I think I got parried. I didn't get parried once for that. And he knows the situation, obviously, but he just didn't expect me to do it. And I'm going to keep doing it until you change. Because first you have to deal with the dick jab after that situation, and then you can start the mind games. But he wanted to try it straight away, and it didn't work. Also, I used a lot of punch parry, and in that matchup, punch parry is actually very good.
Yeah, it's really good.
What else?
Back 1 situation, actually. So if a Steve blocks back 1, it actually sucks for the Steve that blocked it. Because, back 1 is 13, so you have punch parry, but let's throw it out there. It's a weird situation.
Yeah. And I started getting his timing on a lot of his attacks. I get a lot of while standing 2 counter hits. I got a lot of back 1 counter hits. Even when he was duck checking me, I know one situation I could feel when he thought I would attack, and I would time my back 1 to counter hit him out of duck. So I got a lot of that on him. Now, I think Kujeski's actually got a lot of potential. And he's a very good player. But he's not the best Steve in Australia. I proved that. I don't even think I'm the best Steve in Australia. But
Shout out to Naveed.
Definitely shouts to Naveed. That guy's insane. But yeah, even out of me and Eli, I wouldn't be able to say who Steve's better. I just know both of ours are way better than Kujeski Steve right now. I'll 100%. I'll back that up. I already have. I've already proven that. Now he wanted a rematch straight away, and I'm glad that I made him want to challenge me again at BAM. So we're gonna do another first to 5 Kujeski, and I want to see that Steve level up. And yeah, so that was a good match. And then the final match of that day was me versus Daniel. And this was the only match where I felt like everyone in Melbourne was like, Daniel's got this. Like, no one thought I was going to win. I could tell from kind of the way that people talk about Daniel. Now, the thing is, I've played Steve versus Geese so much. And I've played Dee-on's Geese, which I think, I think Dee-on is the best Geese in Australia right now. I don't think anyone else even really plays Geese besides, what is it, Daniel and Dee-on, and I don't think Naveed plays Steve. I mean, Geese.
In Australia, because they got Dan Banter that,
Dan Banter plays, but not Australia. Yeah, so I understand that matchup very well. And actually, to prepare for Daniel, I had, was it three first to 7s, Dee-on? When I was at yours with Ray, was it 2 or 3?
We definitely had a lot of.
We had a lot of games, and I won. Yeah,
we tested a shitloads of fucking scenarios, the situations, and everything. So
yeah, so I think I won both times, right? 7-6, Steve versus Geese.
Mm-hmm.
And like we weren't fucking around or anything. They were pretty serious set. And I think me playing that set actually, it helped with confidence, but it also helped me. I understand all the situations very well. Basically, every time I was in a Geese situation versus Daniel, I knew exactly what to do. Because I knew what Geese's options were. I knew what Steve options beat what. Now...
See, look, the thing, I think, before you going into Melbourne, obviously Abby can back this up. You obviously thought Reck would be able to take... Reck wouldn't be able to take a lot of the players on. And one of the reasons why I really doubted that before he even went to Melbourne was, I think you really underestimate like how much time like the Sydney guys have actually been putting in to be getting better.
That's one thing I realized after this weekend.
I'm being like absolutely upfront. Like I know how much the Melbourne guys gather around for like, you know, like a meetup. Like you guys have it at Jono's, or you have it at like, maybe you'll have some on, I don't know, like one of your Rambats, and maybe you have some casuals here and there. But I don't think you understand how much effort and how much offline sessions we have here. Like, they basically, like on Wednesdays when they're there, like they're testing out shit that they don't know. They have actually a lot of experience with offline itself. Now, the fact that when Reck went over, I would have, like I said, I'm happy to put money on him versus anyone there, just because the lack of offline experience that you guys had, it would be fucking physically impossible that I think anyone would win. But I mean, Tin did win in the end. But I'm saying, like, that's one of the main reasons I was like, yeah, put a lot of bets down, because I've seen how much effort they've put in to, you know, to win.
To put it into perspective, I think like a few people in the chat might remember this, but in the early days of when I first started streaming, I would only stream offline, and my streams would be average of like 9-10 hours, and it would just be me and Reck playing each other and switching characters. And around that time, we're averaging 20 hours minimum a week of playing offline.
Yeah.
20 hours minimum of versing each other, like offline. We were there 2 to 3 days a week and just playing sets. And that's when I was learning Steve, like just practicing every single situation, everything, trying to learn every move. And yeah, like I know some people play 20 hours a month, or like 20 hours a week minimum, and just playing and practicing everything. And when I get home, I didn't play online. I would practice my execution for 30 minutes a day, like every single day before I go to bed. And I would still practice lab situations for my characters versus things that I don't understand.
Mm.
And I still play that 20 hours.
And the thing is, like, because I've been playing in Melbourne for like 10 years before this, and one thing that I got when I came to Sydney was that I really wasn't used to was that in Melbourne, when I basically beat all the players that I beat, I just know this guy's weakness. I didn't need to improve my Tekken. I just know that I can do this and I'm going to win. And that's it. But in Sydney, it works for like the first week. Then people gather around. They'll be like, yeah, we know how to deal with this now. Then I have to keep fucking improving myself as well. And the difference between the players in Melbourne and Sydney are that the Sydney players put a lot of effort in what didn't work and how they're improving their game. Like, I'm constantly seeing improvements, and I think that's a really good thing that I see here. Yeah. No, I'm just being really upfront. Like, I love the Melbourne guys. I love most of the scene there, but like a lot of mistakes that, you know, like when I watch Reck play against some of the players, like I'm like, yeah, I've seen this like a few years ago. He's still making the same mistake.
I just want to say one situation that I remember, like Dee-on, Reck, and I were labbing, and this was like a really funny moment. I was playing Dee-on in a long set, and it was Jack versus Steve, and and so we found out what happens. So if Steve blocks Jack's 2, and then Jack does another 2, Steve can down forward 2, and it'll high crush the second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jack will die.
And Jack will get counter hit. And we labbed it, and it was consistent.
Consistent 100%.
And
Absolutely consistent, yeah.
And then like 3 games later, Dee-on, like we're playing neutral, and it's about halfway through the round. Dee-on does a 2 jab, like he's gonna do another 2 jab. This time, he knows that I'll try to do a down forward, like a down forward 2. So he's gonna do forward 2. I thought he was gonna do forward 2 to beat me, so I duck, and he does down forward 2. Like, it's like one step ahead. See, that's the kind of thinking I like to have. Like, we labbed something, and I remembered it. So I'm step ahead. But he was 2 steps ahead. So now I have to think 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, it's
like
good.
No. The thing about you and Rick and Eli is they actually did spend a lot of time prepping a lot of stuff and labbing a shitloads of stuff. So the result wasn't super surprising to me, to be honest. Like it was. I think Reck had a lot of it very convincingly.
Yeah. Now me versus Daniel, the final score was 7-4. It actually, I think I could have potentially closed it out at 7-2 with the momentum I had. So I lost the first game. Yeah, I lost the first game, and then I actually won 15 rounds straight. So the next 5 games, 13? Yeah, so I lost the first game, then I won like 5 games in a row without dropping rounds.
Talk to me about that match. Like, how or what was this Geese doing differently from when you usually play me?
So
what was the mistakes that was? Because obviously, I mean, Geese players would have similar move choices. Like, obviously, I think he didn't understand about the back 3 was losing to weave. The down 4 was losing to weaves. I could see the attempts.
Yeah.
A lot of damage was coming from his 50-50s, and I think you're not 100%, but you're pretty sharp on those. So
I can block those.
Yeah, so
a lot
he
of
wasn't
damage
getting
from lows as well, like lows into contest, duck, and flicker.
Now, 2 big things that Daniel doesn't do, which Dee-on does, is he doesn't want to commit on a parry read. I didn't get parried. I didn't get parried once in I think I got parried once in like 13 games or something. I got parried once.
Yeah.
There was actually a situation, I just wanted to bring this up, and I think I'm right when I say this, but I don't know for sure. It was close towards the end, and you did your rage drive. He blocked it, and he attacked. So a move came out, but you didn't do the 1. I think he was waiting for the 1, and I think he tried to parry, but he got a miss input, and he got quarter-circle back 2-4, or something like that. So I think he tried to parry the 1 there, but that doesn't actually work, right? I'm pretty sure he can't parry that.
It depends. I haven't actually tested that specific situation. But
okay.
Yeah, so Daniel doesn't want to commit on parry reads, and I think that makes his Geese a lot less scary. So I know Dee-on, he won't give a fuck. He's going to parry me if he thinks I'm going to do a mid. Well,
the thing about Geese is, especially in a 1st to 7, is it's either you commit early and make reads mid game and play it safe late game.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously if I parried you in the first 1 or 2 games, I'm going to expect that, a normal person's in 3, 4, and 5 are going to slow down that momentum at that specific point.
Yeah.
But if he didn't make any commitments in mid-game, it's early game, in mid-game, you guys will slow down because you're going to be unsure and he's going to be. But I think you started taking advantage of that because you're waiting for him to have something out, to make a read, to make a statement there, but you just controlled that specific situation from then on.
I did. So
that's what I thought it was.
Most of the time, I got to the point where I realized he's not going to parry my check, so I'm just going to down forward 1 check everything. And actually, a lot of Daniel's string choice is very different to Dee-on's. So Daniel skips forward 1 in almost every string he does.
Yeah, I did see that.
That makes sense. I can understand that. And it did catch me off guard for the first few games. So no forward 1 comes out. He always goes straight into the 50-50 or straight into Power Crush.
That's actually good.
It is very good, actually.
That is very good.
That is good. I like the way that he did that, actually. But he didn't use a lot of forward 3 after a lot of the strings. And he didn't really. Let me think.
Forward 3. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
sorry, I was gonna say a point out. He does a lot of down forward 2 to check duck.
Yes, he does, which
you can't.
Yeah, you get counter hit.
You can't really. I think overall Melbourne didn't understand duck and weave well. So no. I mean the move choices that they would have had that you're saying from Jono or from Daniel, it's fair enough because I think they're not exposed to that. And when you're not exposed, they're gonna try new stuff out, like on the spot as well.
Yeah. What else did Daniel do?
Did you think that giving up a lot of combo damage to risk for a 50-50 was effective on your set, or did you think that was getting him killed?
Okay, so the first time he did it worked. The second time he did it worked, and then it never worked again.
Okay.
So
short set it might have worked.
Short set it might be good. In longer set, it's not going to work. Daniel actually has very optimized combos. Some of them I haven't even seen before. Like there's down 3-1, forward 1 into Rapukin.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that. I didn't even know that worked on Steve.
It's like some certain male characters is not.
Yeah, but he always like he knows. He goes for it. What works. I got a lot of damage off. I got a lot of damage actually off setting up my while standing 2 timing.
Yeah. Duck while standing.
So what Daniel does is when he's expecting a move, he'll duck into commit to launch. So
you weaved a lot of those situations.
So first I would weave it, then he would wait, then I would duck forward first, and then do while standing 2 to counter hit it, and it worked a lot. What else?
Were you getting any damages off the fact that he was trying to use back 3 or down 4 to catch your waves?
I killed him like in clutch situations a few times because he didn't understand that. Yeah, so he would like do a down 4 to close the round. I remember there was one comeback I had. I remember Abby like went crazy when it happened.
I remember this one.
So it was actually in neutral. He dashed down 3 to close the round out. I right waved into upper because I knew that the low was coming out, and I launched him to the wall. And then he jumped back after he got up, and I while running to him to kill him.
I remember that.
That was a big comeback there. And it's stuff like that where in the clutch, if you don't understand that I'm going to weave in these situations, it's going to get you killed.
I think you can't really blame anyone because they're not really.
Yeah, no, it's no exposure. Well. It's no exposure.
Yeah, they're not used to it. Like that is I remember when I first started dealing with weave and how to deal with it. I had to fucking ask Aslam how to deal with this crap, man. I was like, man, what the fuck is this? Like, this move's meant to track that side and it doesn't hit weave, you know? Like,
yeah.
I had to get information like outside of Australia. Like, that's how stressful it was.
Honestly, sorry, go.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, honestly, Steve is like even level 1 Yomi Steve is hard to deal with if you don't know the character.
Yeah. It's a hard character to deal with.
Yeah, it's very different to any other character. Like, if you're just doing, like, back 1 and to flicker 1, down 1, and people don't know why they're losing to it because they don't know the frames, you know, they're going to keep dying.
Yeah, it actually happened to me. A lot of my sets, I would just do back 1 to flicker 1, down 1, and get a free counter hit. Like, and that's 50 damage. It's huge. Because people kind of wanted down forward 2 check you.
In terms of style, because Melbourne's style is generally... Like they have their own type of offense, and I mean, I think the good thing about Melbourne Stars, they've got their own type of offense, and then they work around that offense. It's like what Rami does sometimes. Like he does this, it worked or didn't work. It's okay. I got B and C option there, and then I'm gonna try to mind fuck you, and then come back into A and B and just play their own mind game. I think one of the weaknesses of Melbourne's game is the defense. If something is hitting, I don't think they understand where they. Yes, they don't notice it. I mean, I do think they do notice, but by the time they've noticed, it's like 2 or 3 games down the track. It's like way too fucking late. It's way too late. It's like you're in a set. You need to basically notice as soon as possible. So I think the defense they notice a bit slowly. How did you feel about Daniel, like in his defense there? Like, was he picking up on stuff, or do you think you were getting away with something?
No, I got away with a lot. So actually, one situation that almost killed every Melbourne player was Steve down to 1.
Down to They didn't know about how to deal with that high. I think they were just crouching and trying to while standing.
The person who killed me the most for it was Rami.
I remember.
So Rami would just attack, and I would just be like, "Why?" But so it actually worked a few times, and there was one time where I committed to the 2, and he did duck it. Now I was just thinking he's either mind gaming me very well, he just remembered that it's like there's a high there. But I got a lot of counter hits. Well, I know how to set up down 2-1-2 counter hit very well. I've got a lot of experience with that.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what to do if you're not challenging. I know exactly what to do if you're fuzzing. I know what to do if you're stepping. I know exactly what to do in basically every situation there. And no one really knew what to do in that situation.
At the top of my head, it looked like most of the Melbourne players were doing fuzzy parry into nothing, low jab, or fuzzy parry into while standing 4.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone knew how to deal with your down 2-1 into duck 4-2 at all. No one. I mean, like, it seems like no one knew how to challenge that. I think they didn't realize that although that is kind of a little bit on their advantage because you got to commit to your strings or your things that you need to do there, they always wanted to button something, either a big button or a small button, and that was getting you a lot of parry damage. You're getting shitloads of punch parry, absolute fucking shitloads. Whenever you were like close to losing or you needed to make a big read, you made the highs come out, but you're not risking like the down 2-1-2 high. You're doing the actual 4-2, and that damage was like fucking. We're talking like close to 100 with the wall, and it made a lot of comebacks for you. I think they just did.
No, go. Sorry, continue, Dee-on.
No, I think that's one thing that a lot of players didn't pick up was like, okay, this is a string. I know there's a high at the end, but I'm gonna duck and let's just hope he finished the string. But I think a lot of that what you were doing was like, I know that's like basic level 1 shit. Now I'm gonna try to give you B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And that definitely killed a shitloads of people. I think Eli was gonna explain the frames on that, right?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Steve has his generic down 2-1-2 string. Last hit is a high. It's a counter hit launcher. A lot of people know the string. It's an old string, so they'll duck it. But what a lot of people do is they duck and they'll see that nothing came out, and then they'll do an attack. And this is where you do down 2-1, duck, forward 2, and it'll beat pretty much almost any retaliation.
Every while standing.
You get counter hit, you're losing 70 damage, basically. You're taking 70 damage straight to the face. And that's one of the killers. Like, if people don't know the situation, and they're doing so like they didn't see the high, so they're gonna attack. They get counter hit by that. Then when they start, like, the thing that beats both those options is duck, stay ducking, and dick jab or do a low. So then Steve can go into weave, and if he sees a string, he can hit confirm into right weave 1-4 or left weave 2-1 or whatever, and you can go from there. And there's like 100 situations from that one string. So when people know option A, B, and C, they don't know option like. You have to have 1,000 letters in the alphabet to list all the options that Steve has from down 2-1, because you can duck into duck, you can duck into duck, you can duck into weave, you can do like a million things.
Yeah.
It's like Steve is all situations. If you don't understand the situations, you're just gonna get counter hit. So when people ask why am I getting counter hit, they just don't know the situations.
Yeah, like Reck also has down to one into duck into left and right. We've from that situation, but I don't think he ever got to actually use that
Nah,
because
there was no point.
people just got stuck at that second layer where it's
Yeah.
like the timing of the second high was just giving him extra 70 damage. Like,
Yeah.
why the fuck would he need to go to level 3 or 4?
Yeah. So there's actually a lot I didn't have to use in my weekend down there. But it's only just because of lack of knowledge.
Also, sorry, I just want to say also one other option, like down 2-1, duck 1, is also something that's really good that very few people use. Because it'll also beat like that stay down, wait, then like dick jab or something.
Yeah, it also beats step right into
Which
button.
one? Down to one, duck one.
The mid.
The mid that the one that gets you on the fucking holding your stomach.
Yes.
Counter launcher, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, wouldn't that lose to most like downforward ones and just jabs on the spot?
Yeah, it loses to on the spot retaliation. It beats step right because people
Hesitation.
step right for the
Okay.
forward too. Yeah, so it beats that, and it beats step fuzzy. It beats a lot of options.
It's just another option there.
Yeah, but it's just another option you have.
Yeah. Sure.
But anyway, so I could tell Daniel didn't really understand my character, and I fully understand his character. And that helped me. And also,
how was his defense?
Versus Steve, it wasn't good. He doesn't understand because most of the defense I noticed is just trying to get people to whiff. But you can't do that versus Steve. Like, he's just going to walk forward and back one, and even if he whiffs the back one, you can't launch it, really.
Well, Steve's basically fucking whiffing shit on purpose to get counter, so...
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, okay. Carry on.
But Daniel was... yeah. He was actually... I had more trouble against some other players than I did against Daniel. I also... Like, I would duck... Every time he did down forward 1-1, down forward 1-4, he didn't realize I was fuzzying that. And I basically 100% of the time he did down forward 1-1, I ducked it. Every time he did down forward 1-4, I blocked it. And that got me a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Now, let me think. Yeah, that was a lot of what won me the game. I got some weaves. Not weaves, back sways into the wall. That won me the last game, I think. He had some comebacks, actually. I think when I was up 5-1, he won 2 games. I won 1, he won 1, then I won 1 to close it out. But I think that set was pretty convincing. And I think Daniel's pretty solid. And in tournament, he's very scary. I actually played him in tournament earlier. And in tournament, he's very scary. But I do think that Dion's a better geese at the moment. And my last one was Tin. And Tin destroyed me. I didn't play it the way I wanted to play. I wasn't happy about that set. Tin's a very talented player. I think he's the best player in Melbourne besides Naveed. Even though the results don't show that in the last couple of months, I do think he's definitely a better player than most people there.
Talk about that set, talk about the set.
So
were you expecting that character?
No, I didn't know what character to expect, to be honest. I didn't prepare for Tin's characters because I didn't know what he would play. I won the first 2 games and lost 7 straight. And now, that was just me. That was my fault. He just outplayed me. I tried to do a lot of duck into parry, and I misinputted it every time, and it got me killed. And actually, I did get frustrated, and that got a lot of damage onto me. He hit basically every up forward 3 on me. When he read the high.
The one that flies up.
And I only properly punished it 1 time. So that was my fault.
And you had like off side access next to the wall, so you couldn't even really combo.
Yeah. Tin's defense, he understands Steve. Yeah, much better than everyone else that I played understands Steve. And honestly, that I should have made the adaptation quickly that, okay, this guy understands what I'm doing, I need to change. I didn't do it fast enough. He hit me with a lot of committal lows, which was good. He actually, the best thing that Tin did against my Steve, which people don't usually do, is he would wait at the wall. And my wall game against him, I couldn't really hit him. So what he would do is he'd wait after the wall combo, and if I wouldn't hit him on the ground, he would be tech rolling. I think he was reacting to it. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing, but it was really good, and I just couldn't keep my wall pressure up against him. He would always move out of it or attack me out of it or get a counter hit. and he played very, very well. Also, his spacing is extremely good. Like he knows the situations. He knows last situations very well, actually, better than me for sure. I don't really have much experience in that matchup, so he would like poke me. I would retaliate with something. He would backdash arc blast, kind of like Kolonov style. But yeah, no, Tin's a gun. He's really good. And I just lost, and I'm gonna rematch him at BAM.
I think from what I saw on the match, that you made a mistake on was Tim was very focused on how you reacted to certain moves. So, for example, you did down 4-2 into duck, he did a down 4, right?
Yeah.
That's a very common situation. Next time you did peekaboo, the next time you did down 4-2 into duck, he did a different down 4 at a different timing, but it was a low. And I think from the third or fourth, you're expecting mids or possibly more lows. And from there on, Tin's game was actually always ahead of you. So when someone's game is ahead of you, you start to get hit by real random shit like barge, you get hit by like 4-2-4, right? What you should have done there was you should have just acknowledged the fact that after a down 4-2, he's going to do a down 4, right? That's a fact. Like if he does a move that's a minus frame, what you tried to do was you tried to counter him straight away. And what Tin did was he just waited it out, and then you became minus again. So what you should have just admitted the fact that he's gonna do a down 4. He's gonna be on minus frame. You should have dealt with how the down 4 on hit on you could have done differently. For example, you down 4-2, he down 4'd you. Next time you didn't button, you dash forward 3 steps, Tin jabbed. Okay, cool. 2 steps, you're gonna get a back 1 next time. Or dash forward, Tin just standing there, backdash, wait, you 50-50. Now you got it. So make that hit that he did to you, make it feel like it is stressful here for him to be on that kind of situation. And I think he was controlling that situation as well. Like down 4, back, arc blast. I think he was a step ahead of you, and that's what got you killed. And that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
That down 4 situation's kind of weird for Steve too.
In what sense? In what sense?
So if you think about it in a very binary manner, so you think, like, let's say he hits down 4 and both players want to attack straight away, right? He's on -2. If Steve does back 1, Lars can stay down and do the full crouch low.
Yes.
And if Steve reads that, Lars can do while standing 4. If it hits or it's blocked, he can just backdash or step or whatever. And if Steve has a read on either one of them, he'll right weave. The first hit of the sweep will whiff. The second one will hit you. So you have to commit to shoulder early, and you risk getting counter hit. But obviously, you can alter timing. But if you look at it in a very, very binary manner like that, like as is, it's a weird situation because it's not hard. It's just weird and annoying to a degree.
The reason why Lars is not a strong character at the moment is due to his risk and rewards. So Lars needs to take a shitloads of risk to get in damage, right? He can take small risks, but his returns are real small. For example, like down 4. And the weakness of down 4 or his small pokes are the fact that whenever he does it, Lars needs to check what happens next. If he does anything on the spot, he's at a more bigger risk of himself dying than to actually let something rip. Does that make sense? So that's what I was saying. I was like, So for example, he does, but for you, it's chip damage. For the other guy, he's fucking risking his whole life there.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
If you controlled the situation after the small pokes and found out, like I think you lost to a lot of your own offense there. Like if you stayed,
I did.
If
I
you
needed to be more patient.
Exactly. If you stayed a little bit behind and just figured it out and dashed and waited, I think he could have controlled that a bit better.
Yeah. A lot of it was honestly the way I was playing against Tin worked against almost everyone else I played against.
Yes, and that's a big thing in Melbourne. It's like, shit, that worked against everyone. How come this doesn't work against this guy anymore?
And
now you're like, now I have to readjust it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that was my fault. I didn't adjust, and he did very well. So GG's to Tin. I'm gonna get that run back.
His down back 4 timing in that set was godlike.
Good. Yeah.
I don't think you blocked a single one, even when you were.
I did. I blocked a couple, but
you missed a couple of punishes. That means you were definitely not aware.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely you were definitely.
You were looking for the small low.
I was.
He did the big low with the same timing.
Yeah.
Kind of threw you off. Like when I saw him do down back 4s and they hit, doesn't matter if it was counter hit or normal hit. I'm like, man, I wouldn't have blocked that. That was a good timing.
Yeah. It's very
because it was like you do move into duck, you expect slow the quick low, and then he does the slow low, and the next time he does nothing, and then he does the slow low. So it's like timing 1, timing 2, and he hits you out of it. And if you button after the delay of the first one, you get counter hit. It's like so well placed with the down back fours.
But then again, like last Steve isn't that bad of a match for Steve. So if you lost, then you just lost, which is fine. Like I mean, like yeah,
I'm not gonna OS. I'm not gonna say the table was too high.
No.
But I lost.
Yeah.
GG.
Well, look, man, I'm happy to watch the run back at BAM.
Yeah, so that'll be a good set. Everyone in the chat should, if you're going to BAM, you should check that one out because I actually enjoy playing Tin a lot. I think he's really fun to play against.
Tin is the Aussie I'm looking forward to playing against the most.
Yeah, and I think so that basically covers all the exhibition matches I had. And I mean we can also go over the tournament, Abby, if you want.
Yeah, if you want to, just your matches because I've already gone through the tournament.
Do you have the bracket?
Yeah, it's alright. I got the bracket up. First game you played Rainbow Warrior.
Yep. So the first game I played Rainbow Warrior, we didn't actually have DLC, so we could only play Nina. And I sort of just after our set the night before, I was like, okay, I know what he does. And I won 6 rounds straight.
If that was the first time you ever played Damien, I would have bet that you're gonna lose.
Yeah. So
I'm serious. I put money down that Damien would win that.
Yeah. So I played him.
What the fuck's going on? Yeah.
I played him in tournament. He could only play Nina. I knew exactly what he was gonna do, and I won 6 rounds straight.
Next match after that was Kojeski.
Now this one actually was sort of conflicted about. So I knew that we were going to play an exhibition the next day.
Can I ask, if you don't mind, did you not pick Steve because you wanted information and you were saving it for the...
So there was a bit of... I wanted to see, how well he deals with other characters. And I also... Yeah, I was saving. I'm not going to...
Who did you use? I don't even know.
So the first game I played Shaheen, and I lost 3 rounds. And I thought, okay, this guy obviously understands this. So what I did was I switched to Geese.
Okay.
And because I play the matchup so well on the other side, I know what works. And Kojeski didn't. So Kojeski has weave, but it's not the same way.
He does it off moves, from what I remember.
He does. He does do it off moves. Now,
not law.
Because I know how Dee-on deals with it, I basically dealt with it the same way, which is if I read the weave into button, I'm going to down forward 2. And I did that a lot, so I would attack when he wouldn't expect it with homing counter hit launcher, and I got a lot of those on him. And yeah, I play my Geese is actually not bad. It's not. I don't have a bad Geese, and a lot of it's learned off how Dee-on plays, but it's a bit different. And yeah, I don't think he expected it. And it's also very different to Daniel, so he wouldn't have been used to the style. And I won the next 2 games pretty solidly. I think I lost 2-3 rounds maybe in 2 games. Yeah. So that was Kojeski.
Yeah. Next match was winners semifinal with Chandenwai, aka.
I'm salty about this one a little bit. I knew he was gonna. I was pretty like, look, before the match, I was like, okay, I'm up against Navid. I've never played him before. What am I supposed to do, Dee-on? And he was like, he's aggressive and he knows what he's doing. Basically, like, yeah. So the first match was Devil Jin versus Steve. Now his Devil Jin's he's got insanely good execution and he commits very well. I actually had a lot of Devil Jin experience because Dee-on's only playing Devil Jin right now. And Dee-on plays like 50-50 Hamlord Devil Jin. So I was just like sort of prepared for Devil Jin a little bit. So I lost the first game 3-1, and the second game I actually won. I think it was 3-1 or 3-2. And then the third game, the vid picked Steve in the mirror. And that was actually a pretty good game. The vid Steve is very different. Very, very different.
What were you getting hit by? Like, were you getting hit by counter hits or weaves or what?
No, I got hit by like sometimes. I actually didn't get counter hit that much. I got hit a lot by just hard reads.
Yeah.
So beginning of I think round 2, he started with Peekaboo up forward 2.
Yeah.
and it hit me, and I was like, "What the?"
He did Devil
fuck?
Jin's fly as well. I think it hit you straight off.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
he hit me once with Devil Jin's fly. I blocked one of them as well.
Must
But-
have the same read, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what he read because the time it hit me, I dashed forward and I got hit, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I didn't know what was going on. There was one time he hit me with it was at the wall. He did not peekaboo, Albatross 2 into quarter circle forward 1.
He did?
Yeah.
You ducked?
I ducked. So I ducked waiting for timing back one.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
he
yeah,
hit me.
makes
And I was
sense.
like, oh wow.
Yeah, that was
okay.
good actually.
I was like,
That was
wow,
pretty
that was like I would never have thought of that. That was really good. And now there was actually one round where I had to make a comeback, and what I did was back one. No, what did I do? It was off a move. I did a move into sway back 2, big overhead launcher.
Oh, I saw that, and you
and
did
he
swing
back one. He did a back one, but
Whiffed, right?
it whiffed because
Yeah, wasn't it down forward
of-
1 into backsway?
Yeah, so it was down forward 1, back sway 2, I think. He back one, and 90% of the time that hits, but I think it was because of range. It didn't, so I could see he kind of was like, "Oh shit!" Like that might have been able to hit me.
Sorry, was this match recorded?
Yeah, this is on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering how Dee-on saw it.
Darren recorded it. But I think the final round count for the game was 3-1. Naveed won. He's just a better player than me, straight up. He's very good. He's better than I think he's better than everyone I've played in Australia. I want to say
his style is definitely like completely different from most of the other players. And to be honest, like my personal opinion, like his level is just quite a lot higher than the rest of Melbourne. So like, I mean, honestly, like going from playing the rest of the guys and then playing the vid, you'd be like, holy shit, where the fuck is all this middle gap? Like, you don't feel it. No, I'm serious. Like, you don't feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a big difference.
You don't feel it. Right? Like, don't Melbourne think Navid and Daniel like similar anyway? Or
No.
No?
What, you mean our Daniel
in skill?
Naveed? In skill?
Yes, yes.
No. There's obviously the knowledge that there's a clear distinction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Next match was lost there 2-1.
Rainbow again.
Yeah, Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah.
And
so
it's
this
funny
time,
because this was a complete turnaround from their first set in tournament.
Yeah. So, he picked Anna this time. And then I was like, oh shit! Like, I understand what he does with Nina. I don't know what he does with Anna. And I have very.
That one. Did you get hit by that?
I got hit by it once actually.
Yeah.
But I have not much Anna experience. And I have very little Anna Steve experience. And that match was actually very close. Took it to the last round. And I ended up winning. I think I ended up with a perfect, but it was to the last round. And he was actually in the last game. He was ahead 2 rounds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was up.
He was ahead
Reck
2
had to-
rounds in
Reck
the
had to
last
make the
game,
comeback.
and I had to make the comeback. And yeah, so I did win that one. And it was also actually the same time, Abby, when the Tetris stream was going off. And everybody was getting crazy hype. I was like, literally, Damien and I, like, we looked at each other. We looked over, like, in between one of the matches, and we saw Tetris, and we were just like, what the fuck? But yeah, so that was actually a really close game, but I did pull that one out.
If Damien's listening to this, dude, you getting 2 rounds is like normal, man. It's like you getting 2 rounds on Reck, getting on me, getting on like most. If you have that last round all figured out and played completely the next level, you'd be fucking unstoppable. You'd be so hard. It's like, holy shit, this guy did something really weird and fucked me over 2 rounds. Except last round he becomes different and he just 3-0'd me. Like, that'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. If you could turn it on for I would have lost.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like if he had a different game plan for just 1 round, holy shit, man, I would not want to verse that guy. I'm serious. Yeah.
So Damien's a killer in tournament. I'd be very fucking scared if I'd never.
Yeah, he had a crazy run. I don't want to segue too much, but he beat he got put into
loses by me.
Loses first. But then he
first round
he
I
pretty
played.
much beat everyone, including Rami and Jono, all the way up until he versed you again.
Okay. Yeah. So he had a good run.
Yes, he had a good run.
But so I double jeoparded him there.
Yeah, and then you got to verse BPG again.
BPG. Yeah.
Tournament.
Yep. So I think this was the first set of top 4. Now after playing Jack in that set before, because our set was actually before tournament, I had a good grasp of how he played, and I won very convincingly. I think that tournament set. It was like it wasn't very close. He might have gotten a round or something. But yeah, he sort of crumbled under the pressure, I think, a bit. But yeah, so that set was pretty convincing my way. And then next was Daniel. Now
final.
This was losers final.
Yep.
Daniel had some pad misinputs that actually cost him some rounds. It happened at least twice. I know.
4
I can
times
remember.
all up.
Was it 4? Okay, yeah. He accidentally got rage art while he was doing a combo. That happened at least 2 times. So if it was 4, it was 4. But it did cost him. It cost him at least 3 rounds, I think. Now, actually, yeah. So he was telling me he did get, it was like 4 misinputs, but one of them hit me, I think, or 1 or 2 of them hit me. With random rage art. And anyway, so.
Which one's the one that he did? You did a pickup. You did a rage drive, but
That was in the first set.
Okay, that was a sick. Yeah, he did the war rage drive into neutral into auto block. He did a raging storm, which you punished, and I fucking like that. Like that was a good punish because I think that you won that set. If I correct.
Yeah, that was the second last game, I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wouldn't have punished that. Like I'm serious. If you did 4-4-2, you would have just. But
yeah.
Yeah, but you went for whatever. You went for Sonic Fang. Fair enough.
I remember when Dee-on and I were watching it. I knew that as soon as I saw the Raging Storm come out, I knew you were gonna auto block it. I was like yelling, "Punish it, punish it!" And then you did Sonic Fang. You're like, "Yes!" For those who don't know, Raging Storm is -18 on block, but that's pushback.
Yeah. So tournament it was 2-2, and so I was down. It was 2-1 Daniel's way. I came back 1 game. Then he switched, and he switched to Feng. Now, people who might not know me, I've been a Feng main for a while, and also understand Feng vs Steve pretty decently. So when he switched to Feng, I won. Was it 3 rounds straight? I think I won very convincingly when he switched. But yeah, it was a bit of a heartbreak for Melbourne. I know he got misinputs, and everyone doesn't want this, fucking Sydney invader to becoming second highest ranked at their Rambat. But it happened. So I beat Daniel 3-2. And then I had Navid. And I don't think I've ever lost so badly in a tournament set as I have against Navid's Armor King. That set. He absolutely blew me out of the water. Like it wasn't close. I think I got 2 rounds once. And then that was it. Now the way he plays, it's just so different. He basically dashed up to me and hop kicked me, and it worked like 4 times. And it's because he's kind of conditioning me with throw and whatever. Honestly, half the time I don't even understand what he's doing.
Did you duck or did you button?
Duck.
The hop kick. Was it a fuzzy duck or was it commit duck?
Fuzzy.
So
he would hop kick my fuzzy.
Okay, he must have just had the timing on because obviously if you can, he must have because if you fuzzy duck, you wouldn't have got hit by that.
Yeah,
I really want to watch those matches.
Yeah, so I think they're going to be uploaded.
Yeah, Twitch that day, Australia wide had server issues, so we had to record it locally. It'll be up soon.
Yeah. But yeah, the vid basically made me want to play Armor King again because when Armor King released, I was like, this character's cool. I didn't really know how to play him. And then I saw how Navid played him, and like he's not even an Armor King player, but it was so sick, and I was like, damn, Navid's fucking like just too good. So yeah, I just got blown out 3-0 grand final, no reset. Anyway, yeah, shouts to Navid, it's fucking too good, man. But yeah, so that was basically my weekend run. I think I bring it home for Sydney. The boys are pretty happy with it. And I've proven, us training so much every week. Like I'm not the best player in Sydney. There are people out there who are on my level or better.
The thing about Sydney is there's no like my personal opinion, like there's like you, Eli, Box, like do you guys play like pretty like there's no like, oh, this guy definitely beats that guy. Like you have on the day performance, that's for sure.
That's true.
Yeah, the only person who's really ahead is Dee-on right now.
Also, I can't wait. I really hope Lucky Strikes goes to
Oh my
BAM because
God.
I can't wait until you guys versus Marduk and just want to
Oh.
kill yourself. Because that's how I feel every time I versus Marduk. I just want to jump out the windows.
It's the most. I would not stop saying this the weekend. Andrew has the most annoying Marduk you'll ever play against in your life. It's so annoying. Like that's the only word for it is annoying. It's actually
Yeah. Well, look, I think about it a little bit differently from you guys because both of you players, like Eli and Reck, are type of players that actually really give a fuck about offense. So, for example, if this guy did A, then he did B after A, you guys do remember, and then you guys keep that in mind and then play mind games, right? A lot of Australians, other players, don't actually do that. So, to be honest, a lot of stuff that works on you guys because you guys are trying to care and not care. A lot of players in Melbourne might not care, and Lucky Strike just might lose 3-0. I'm being
yeah.
just.
No, that's 100% that can happen.
I reckon if I put Lucky Strikes in a first to 3 with Damien, I've got their back, man.
You might be right. You actually might be right.
No,
You might be right.
I mean, yeah, because the thing is, right, Andrew is not very conditionable himself. So,
Yeah.
for example, if you well, yeah, exactly. So what I do is like, if something works on Andrew, I just do it 100 times, and he's like, oh, okay, next time it's a hard read or something like that. But it'll take a while until you've conditioned Andrew. Now, if that specific thing happened in Melbourne, I can see him just getting 3-0'd by someone there.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it's a lot of playstyle as well. I think.
Yeah, a lot of it is playstyle.
A lot of playstyle, but I think the way that you played worked well because you really cared about how your opponent offensed and you went for basically B and C, and I think a lot of the guys that you played didn't deal with that very well.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it.
Mm.
Big shout out to Melbourne boys because they made my trip good. I don't know if anyone knows, but my flight was delayed, and then they lost my luggage at the airport when I got there, so I was waiting there for like 2.5 hours. And then they found it in the oversized baggage compartment. I don't know how or why that happened, but I was freaking out a bit because I was like, I got all these exhibition matches to play. My stick was in my check-in. So does anyone have the same stick as me? I was actually asking around, but it ended up working out fine. Fucking massive shout out to Abby because he basically drove me around the whole weekend, took me to the airport, took me back, took me to my hotel. Took me to the city, everything. Took me out to dinner. Massive shout outs to Dread Tech who took me to Tom Thumb, best coffee place in Australia. You guys have to check it out. And he's basically fed me crack, which are these little. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's like the chocolate biscuits. Oh my god, they're so
and even
good.
I'm not even a coffee fan, and he got me wanting to drink coffee.
Dude, yeah, that man knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to Melbourne before, or is this the first time?
I've been to Melbourne before, just twice I think. This is my third time. Yeah.
And honestly, obviously Melbourne's not happy with the result, but like it's good. It's eye opening for us. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's listen to you a little bit, Abby. Like, how did you feel? Like, was it different from what you expected? Was it a little bit better? Was it much better?
I
Obviously
I had taken for granted the amount of time that you guys have put in. When it came down to the end of the day, I just realized, like, you had more matchup knowledge, you had more situational knowledge, and it's just like Melbourne play. Like you brought it up, Dee-on. Melbourne, we play each other, but I just realized, and Daniel brought it up as well. It's just not to the length. Learning wise that you guys have had. I'm not making OSs, but BKB is a massive saver for you guys.
Yeah, no. Massive shout outs to Stefan and Battlecat Banca, who's been leveling up Sydney for almost a year now.
Having that offline hub is a godsend. I don't want to make an OS, but it's such a good thing for you guys.
Well, before that, we used to go to people's houses every week.
Yeah, we would. We would go to Looper would open this place up. Yeah, or Dave would open it up.
We used to even have 2 sessions a week at people's houses.
Yeah,
I used to always bring a full setup, a PS4 monitor, 2 fight sticks in case someone wanted to use my fight stick. I'd be carrying that on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we go hard
always made
offline.
do.
Sydney goes hard offline, man.
Mhm.
We're hungry for it. We want to improve, and we're gonna be the best state,
Mhm.
straight up.
But I think not just Melbourne, all states after seeing what Sydney does have to change their approach to offline and learning, and yeah, it's definitely eye opening experience.
Mm.
Talking about Brisbane, we got Rest in
Yeah.
in Brisbane now, who's you know, true Tekken God Prime in Korea. And let me show you. Oh, let me have a look at his. He's had a me about Brisbane. He actually does think they have some uniqueness in their style, which short game works okay. But he thinks that they have like a humongous lack of knowledge on what the opponent is doing. So he's saying like, if he just played Warang aggressively, like they would have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
He did mention that he thinks Colin played very well on the set that they had, and he's very, very keen to play Navid as soon as he gets a chance to. He actually looked at some of the videos that Navid had with Rangchu and you at Yamasa you at BAM. And his comment was, let's see what his comment was. I've got it. Actually had it in front of me. His comment was basically something along the lines of, because obviously he's never seen the vid before. His comment was he thinks that this guy is a really old player.
Like old school.
Yeah, let me show you. Okay, so
Make sure it's not confidential stuff, because you might.
No. Like about a player, like it's very normal. He goes very experienced, and he thinks that it's a very old, like his style is a very old school Tekken player style. Like the knowledge that he does, or the things that he do. So he obviously like Navid's like what in his early 20s. So I think Navid's actually been playing longer than me.
He's been playing since I think he said since he was like 4 years old.
Like six
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, like he could see straight away he's a very experienced player, and he wants to travel a bit as well. He wants to come and play in Sydney and play in Melbourne.
From what Ravenboy and Yigs were telling me, he's got about 2 weeks just to chill and do whatever, but then he's got to go look for a job. They're trying to get him to BAM, but nothing's set in stone yet.
Yeah, he's very close with friends with Usan, so that most likely, like if he goes to BAM, they're gonna stay together. So accommodation's okay, but we're trying to get him up to Sydney as well. If we can, like I spoke to him, he's definitely keen to come down if we could fix up his accommodation, and yeah, like to see how he goes. He wants to come down to Melbourne, not just for BAM. Like he actually just wants to come down and have a look around and play some of the guys. Yeah. We can try to help arrange something. Like, very friendly dude. I met him at, in the Philippines, I think, last year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He speaks decent English, too.
Oh, yeah. Very
That's
decent.
always a good thing.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, you know...
I just realized we have Andrew in Sydney. The only Koreans come down.
Oh, my God.
Oh, fucking hell. Anyway.
I was just going to say, it's good when like a Korean player or an international player that's, you know, like better than us, so to speak, can speak decent English and can understand it. Yeah. Whereas, you know, you go to internationals and you're like verse, I don't know, I'm not going to name anyone because I can't really think of anyone, but you verse like a god tier player and you ask them, you know, what am I doing wrong? And they're like, yes. No. You're like, cool, next set. Like, you have no idea what to do. That's something that Tekken has always had, like that language barrier. So whenever you see someone that's, you know, putting themselves out there to learn the language and to help other scenes, you know, that's a spicy move in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to see this guy down. I mean, I'm really keen to play him. He told me he's gotten a lot worse from since I played him last, because since then he hasn't been playing, and he hasn't been really enjoying the whole season 2 kind of ranking thing.
He's not
yeah.
alone.
Yeah, so
no,
he's and he said he's not as good as how he was back then, but I mean, I don't think he had too much problem down in Brisbane.
yeah.
His Hwarang is so different than all the other Hwarangs. If you guys have watched it, he plays so fast, like so fast, and he's like the one of the Hwarangs that I see that's always using move forward stance transition, move forward stance transition. Where a lot of Hwarang, stuff like that, super weird and like.
But Eli, can he beat Lord Silver? That's the question.
Not if you whiff him.
I'm sure Aris is gonna want to play Rest.
Can he beat Stuckles? That's the question.
No one's gonna beat Stuck. Can you imagine if Rest played online in Australia?
Dude, yeah, man. I'll be like, hey, look, there's a couple of.
It's gonna totally turn him off from wanting to play Tekken in general.
Yep.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's gonna be bad.
So that was Reck's weekend.
He's thinking about doing a couple of streams actually.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
He streamed yesterday, apparently.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh shit! We gotta host him when we're done. They said he got Navid. Oh, online. Oh, okay.
I wanna
What's
see
the
that.
channel? I'll have to follow him.
We'll watch it later.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so that was the weekend.
Yeah, Yigs, the internet is decent enough, but it's not Korean internet. For them, like, Australian 5 buy is like 1 buy in Korea. You might as well not even be playing.
Is it PC Cafe? Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, so my weekend in Melbourne...
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just going to say my weekend in Melbourne. I called I was going to win, and I won. And yeah, it was a good weekend. And I hope Melbourne's kind of seeing that they're falling behind right now, and they got to do something about it because come bam, we're gonna be winning.
Well, there's like fucking 2 or 3 dudes at your level here, so you know.
Yeah, even more maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if Andrew, I mean, there's definitely no like there is this guy is second or third best here. Like there are quite a few of you at very similar level.
If I'm placing well in Melbourne like that and I'm doing that well, you can guarantee there's going to be more people like me from Sydney who's going to be doing it as well.
Yeah. People have really improved in Sydney. Like day 1 when I was here, and day 1 when I was here until day now that I'm here, every day I have to like basically improve myself as well. I'm serious. Like improve myself. It's like, oh fuck, all right, this guy's dealing with this really well. I gotta expand this thing. Like I remember like when I played box at that freaking Bankstown tournament. Like it used to be like free as fuck. Now it's like every time he puts me on clutch now. You know, like he's just playing well.
So Reck, I was gonna ask, what just in the spirit of friendly competition, what advice you'd give to Melbourne after your weekend?
All right, so I did give some players some individual advice after the sets. If there's one thing that's common, well, the one big thing that was in common was just lack of Steve knowledge, but that's just anyone can remedy that by just lab and play against it. A big one is, I think that Melbourne needs to pay more attention to what hits them. That is important. Even if you can play your own style or whatever, but if something isn't working and I keep doing it and it keeps working, that's not a good thing. That shouldn't be happening. Like that happened with more than one player that I played, where I could just keep doing something and it just kept working, and I didn't have to move from that. I just kind of made it easy. But yeah, just keep playing more. I know it's hard for you guys compared to us. We're lucky, man. We have BKB. We have people willing to come out. We have people improving. We have Dee-on who's really willing. He's actually helped teach. Like Dee-on's helped teach me so much. I remember when even before I started playing Steve, like Dee-on would invite me to his place. We'd run first to 5s, first to 10s, first to 3, first to 2. And I can tell just against him that I've gotten a lot better. I used to not be able to touch Dee-on. I wouldn't get games. He could just kind of fuck around and beat me. But now I think it's a lot more competitive. and I think that's been a really good thing. And yeah, so I think just you guys, I think discussing the game. I don't know if you guys do this or not, but Eli and I and Dion, Andrew, we discuss the game all the time about the situations, about the sets we just played.
Yeah.
What can we do
That's one
different?
thing. Like,
Yeah,
I can't speak for everyone in Melbourne, but I don't think it goes on well.
We do that
enough
all
as
the
it should.
time.
Like,
Like if I lose, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
sorry.
ask. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm just gonna ask.
like some fucking certain Kazuya player just just does some YOLO shit and wins and thinks he's a sick cunt when he's a fucking cocksucker. I mean, like, no more comment about that,
like the day like a character comes out, usually like back at like let's say when Noctis came out, like you'd have like at least 3,000 messages talking about Noctis.
Yeah.
And like the other day I labbed anti-Marduk stuff because Lucky Strikes brought in new tech that I didn't know how to deal with because I didn't play Tag 2 very seriously, so I didn't know Marduk that well, and I'm like saying, what does my character do to deal with this situation or this? And I just pretty much pasted every single situation I practiced, and it was like, I don't know, more than 100 lines of text, and just pasting it there for me for my future reference. Like I could just search it back, I can put it in a Google document and just remember it for the matchup or whatever, and remember every situation. I have to commit it to memory. So that's pretty much how it is. And Reck and I, whenever like I find the Steve situation, I'm like, I'll tell it to Reck, and we'll ask ourselves,
Yeah, we do this all the
work?
time.
Why does it work? Like, when do you use it? Because Steve has like, what with Steve, the question isn't is this a good move? It's like, why would I use this instead of this in this situation? Because all of Steve's moves are good. So you have to think about like the exact situation you want to use this, and then we try and break down everything and see why this works. Why would I want to use this against this player when it's reacting this way? And so we're always like trying to find new stuff.
Yeah, like anytime Eli and I watch something like Fighting Spirit, or there's like a random Pakistani Steve, or like we see a situation and we see something work, we're like, oh, why did that work? Why did he use it? Where can I use that? Can I use that in my own game? And like we've just been leveling up each other like that for ages now. But yeah, it's really
like Dion said his laptop died.
Oh, his laptop died, did it?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, he's covered up enough content. We can finish off. Yeah, I think that's everything we wanted to cover.
Yeah. No. It's been That's pretty much it, I think. Anything else anyone wanted to say, or?
I did promise Lazy Dave that I'd bring up how the hardest matchup in Melbourne, aside from Tin, which was Schnitzel.
Fuck. That was my biggest loss. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Like, so the boys took me to Universal and they were like, "There's a pretty big schnitzel." And I was like before, I'm not that big an eater, man. Like, I don't know. Like, just get it, It was actually really good, and the mushroom sauce is fucking good. But shit, man. Fuck, there's way too much.
The selling point is it tastes well, and it's great value.
You know what lasted me for 2 days after?
Get out of here.
2 days after. I took it home with me to Sydney.
What?
Oh my god. Yeah. So
Dion just left the call. He just
Dion left,
and then he's gonna.
He said he couldn't hear us. He's gonna join again or something.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Well,
But anyway, yeah.
we can
I guess
wrap
we
it
can
up.
call it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to give shout outs?
Yep. Massive shout outs to BKB for this past year, man. Big shout out to Melbourne because they were really accommodating and helpful. Shout out to my Sydney boys back at home. I fucking got you. And yeah, shout outs to all Tekken community. Shout outs to the Brisbane boys. Actually, their yesterday's podcast was like one of the best. It was so funny. It was so funny. Like shit. Yeah, shout outs to VBD in Korea, who's not allowed to come back to Australia unless he hits Tekken God Prime.
He's already Tekken God.
Yeah, well, look, it's 2 more ranks. You got to do it, Dennis. And yeah, so that's all mine.
Alchemist shout outs.
Yeah, I got a few. I actually want to also shout out Melbourne for hosting. Obviously the Twitch side of things was definitely not your fault, but for hosting the event, hosting one of our players, showing him like great time and been the hospitable state
Mm.
in this case. It's always a great thing, and I love you Melbourne guys. I love everyone in the Australia scene. And obviously, I just want to get this out of the way because I'm sure it's implied. But when we talk shit about Melbourne, or in this case, like because of the matches, has nothing to do with hating on the state. Like, we just have a lot of Sydney pride.
Yeah.
It's all
100%.
Sydney.
We're bringing back that rivalry. Yeah,
100%. That's I'd like to think that's every state. I mean,
yeah.
you're talking about someone who grew up in that rivalry era, so I know there's no hatred behind it.
Like I'm one of those people that's super proud to be Sydney, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows that.
Yep.
But I have no ill will towards any other state, and my goal is just to get the average level of the Australian Tekken player to be like minimum the top level player right now. Like I want everyone to be as good as Naveed.
Yep.
That's the goal.
Yeah, easy goal right there. Get everybody at the Viz level.
And I'm just happy to see, I'm happy to see Brisbane. More people going out to their Ranbats, putting in more effort. I'm happy to see that people are competing in every state. We got some killers coming out of South Australia too. We got Dimmy, Stuckles, Duke is training in Sydney. Soon it's going to be like every state is going to have 5 players for the state versus 5v5, and everyone's going to, have trouble fighting one another. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want a clear winner. So shout outs to Australian Tekken as usual. And a big shout out to BKB. And a big shout out to Arslan Ash for making EVO an entertaining watch. Congratulations.
Especially for you, Alchemist.
Why?
Yeah? For the Kazumi pick.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
But yeah, alright, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you to everyone for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. The double whammy we had this week. I'll see what's on the horizon for next week. But until then, yeah.
Wait, sorry. I just have one last thing to say. One last thing. In the next 1 or 2 weeks, there might be big news.
Like,
okay.
Hey, hit me up after this podcast. I can keep my mouth shut. But yeah.
That's all there is.
Okay, all right.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. Yeah, like I said, what's on the horizon for this podcast, whether Tekken related or other games, I'll let people know for next week. But again, shout outs to Dee-on Grey, Reck, Alchemist for being on. Always much appreciated. Thank you very much for the killer content you guys have been
Thank you,
putting
Abby.
up.
Peace all.
All right, we will catch you later. Peace.